So this 7 days program, mostly like
Okay.
what we are going to cover is from
Mm-hmm.
like the core like questions they're going to ask you around like important like questions like first
Core
15
technical
minutes.
and behavior.
Yes, everything like important
Okay.
as BA, like in order for you to crack what are the interview questions you should be aware of. Apart from domain, that is separate, but these are very
Okay.
important questions for you to like tell. So first is
Irrespective of like experience, these questions will be asked, right?
yes, these are like very standard questions that they're
Very
going to
standard.
ask you.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
cannot like ignore these questions at all.
Okay. Okay.
So first is like how to introduce about yourself. So introduce yourself, right? This is very
Mhm.
crucial. So I'm going to tell you what is the format, keywords that you're going to use, what you should tell, and what you're not supposed to say,
Okay.
what not to tell also.
Mhm.
So if you are a beginner or you can be experienced, whatever is the case, so they're going to ask you like first like 15 minutes, right? Tell me about yourself. Because first they're going to like roll the dice to your side and then they're going to tell, okay, introduce yourself. So first it can be virtual interview or it can be like in-person interview, whatever it is. First
Mhm.
thing, you're going to make sure that you're very confident about like you being a BA. You can be a newbie, you can have 5+ years of experience, or you can have zero, like you don't have no clue what about what BA do. That's totally fine. But first thing is you have to be very confident. This is just an interview, and it's fine if they don't hire you also is totally fine. But in order to like give a good impression about yourself, so what you have to say is the format is always uh, hi, I am, like an example, I am Sayed. I have about, let's say 3+. You say 3+ years of experience as a business analyst. And I'm currently working as a business analyst in so and so company. I am responsible for gathering requirements. So what you're going to say is like, see, the primary responsibility of a BA is to gather requirements, irrespective of whether, irrespective of domain, or irrespective of any company, whether it can be service based, whether it can be product based, whatever it is. When you go for a BA interview,
Okay.
expectation is like you need to like gather requirements. That's the first
Mhm.
expectation. Okay. So what you're going to say is like, I have about 3+, or you can say that I don't even have experience. That's also totally fine. But if you have experience, at least from 1 year, let's say that you have experience, at least 1+, or you're showcasing that in your resume, you have at least 1+. So you're going to say that, first of all, your name, then exactly the number of experience you have as a BA. So you're going to say next, immediately the next sentence should be, I have 3+, I have 2+, I have 5+, I have 8+ of experience as a business analyst. This is very important. As a business analyst or a senior business analyst or a lead business analyst, depending upon the job description, you're going to use those keywords. And then you're going to say that currently I'm working as a BA. Okay, currently I'm working as a BA in this particular company. And you, let's say that you're not working and your contract is like finished by like December 2024. Currently you don't have job, you're searching for a job. Then what you have to say is like, my last position was with so and so company, and I worked there as a business analyst. And in my last project, my primary responsibility was, I was responsible for gathering requirements. So the second statement, you should always say that, are you currently working, or you're not working, you're just, your contract got ended right now, you are just searching for a job. What is your status like today? Are you working as a BA or not? So if you are showcasing as if you're working as a BA, then you're going to say that I'm currently working. So important, currently I'm working as a business analyst or a senior business analyst or a lead business analyst in so and so company. So first two lines you're saying that you're just directly telling the interviewer that this is my name and I have so and so much of experience as a BA and currently I'm working. Okay. Or otherwise you can say that I'm not working and my contract got ended and currently I'm searching for the job. But in my last role, my responsibility was. So the third line is always has to be like, what was your core responsibility? So in that role, in your current project, what are you doing actually every day? What are you doing? So first role is like expectation from my project manager is I have to gather requirements. So that is my first thing. Second, what is my responsibility is documentation. It can be any kind of documentation. It can be from SOW to BRD to FRD to technical specification document to if it is agile, it can be user stories, it can be data mapping document, it can be flow diagrams, it can be anything. All this will be your roles and responsibility of a BA. So first, I need to identify stakeholders. Then I need to like schedule a call with them. I need to gather requirements. So after I gather requirements, once I know like I have enough details about those requirements, then I need to like start documentation. So you can say that I'm responsible for gathering requirements. Second is after you gather requirements, what you do, I'm documenting. So documentation can be like anything. Like I said, it can be from SOWs. So SOWs to BRDs, FRDs, and it can be if it is agile, then you say you have user stories, then you have documenting about data flow diagrams, then you have data mapping document, then
Ma'am, in Agile, we create a BRDs, right? Along with user stories.
correct. So you have to understand that people have misconception that user stories are only created in agile, but
Okay.
usually when you are integrating with a third party, like internal, see, user stories are where is it's created? It's created in Jira, right?
Jira, yes.
So Jira means Jira access only your full-time people will have internal too. Let's say you're
Inter.
working for Wells Fargo. Okay.
Okay.
Only Wells Fargo, IT team, internal, everybody to Wells Fargo will have access to the Jira.
Jira. Okay.
Okay. Now Wells
Okay.
Fargo is integrating with, let's say, a credit score company.
Mhm.
Okay, so you are
Okay.
representing Wells Fargo, and then you want to integrate with the credit score third party Equifax, for
Okay.
example. So
Mhm.
Equifax engineers won't have access to your Jira system.
Okay.
So in that case, whenever there is a third party integration, whenever there is a vendor integration externally, someone is sending you data, or your team is like sending data to third party like vendors. So in that case, they will have zero because they are not at all your company.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so for them, you have to definitely create a Word document and give it to them.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so if in the interview, if they say that, oh, you worked only in Agile, why are you creating BRD? You have to tell them that, see, in my current project or in my previous projects also, our application, we integrated with third party. Definitely, like every system will integrate with third party.
Third party. Okay.
Okay, it's not that
Okay.
only you're only like your system is only like
And
operating on its own.
do we need to give them like more details about it, like previous which third party and
Correct,
all like
correct.
that?
So that's when they will know that you have experience, right? So let's say
Okay.
for a banking application, Wells Fargo, if the
Okay.
member is like, I'll give you an example of how third-party integrations will look like.
Okay.
So Wells Fargo company is there. Okay. So Wells Fargo company is there. Okay. So now what happens? I'm applying for home mortgage loan. So I got a new, I mean, I searched for a new house. Now I am okay. I finalized the house and I'm going to like find I'm going to go with Wells Fargo just to understand that whether I'm eligible for loan. Okay. So I'm the member. So I'm just like, I already had ready to make an offer. So I already found the house. Let's say the house is 500,000. Now I'm going to ready to make an offer. So I'm going to like click it, right? So it's going to ask for location. Next, if you see here, it's asking for your credit score will not be affected. Means what they're going to do when you put your details, right? So when you put your detail here, there in the back end, Wells Fargo is actually like going to check your credit score. Okay, so when you,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, in the
They
application,
are
they will
going to
get you,
check with the FICO,
correct,
a third party. Yeah.
third party. It can be, see, they can have integration with multiple system. Anything,
Okay.
Equifax, there are multiple credit score companies, right? So it can be with
Okay.
anything. So it's not only one. So whichever like they have contract, they will be doing. So what detail they're going to get is which location, and then like your SSN details. Okay, and then they're
Mhm.
going to like a few, get a few details simultaneously in the back end through an API call. They're going to like check your credit score, whether you are qualified or not, just to give you a pre-qualification letter.
Okay.
Okay, this is not complete mortgage like approval, just to whether like for you to even whether you can submit or not. Okay,
Okay. It's just a pre-approval.
just pre-qualification letter,
Yeah,
whether
pre-qualification.
you are
Okay.
qualified even or not
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
for this
pre-qualification.
application. Yeah, so because there'll be multiple people have to work on this loan application, right? Before
Yes.
that, they just want to check your credit score.
Okay.
So in that case, so now Wells Fargo, when they receive your data, immediately through an API at the back end, they are checking your credit score based upon your SSN number. So they will receive your
Okay.
SSN number. Just with your
Mm-hmm.
SSN number at the back end, right? They will have to understand
Yes.
whether your credit score, whether it's good, bad, fair, or like that. Let's say it's excellent.
Okay.
Now
Mm-hmm.
immediately they will say you are qualified.
Cool. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that check, okay, that check now, your system is integrating with third party, another
Third
company.
party. Yes. Okay.
So you
Understood.
cannot expect them to, you create user stories for this feature and then expect them to do that for that integration.
Yes.
So for them,
Yes.
you have to like create a BRD saying that
Yeah.
when we
Okay.
receive member information, we are going to like send you those information in the API call. We expect a certain response, whether credit score in certain format, like whether
Okay.
credit score, good, bad. That's all. That's the only information we want from your company, nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay.
Nothing
Okay.
else. So that business requirement, right? That will be
Mm-hmm.
in BRD only. It will not be in user stories.
User stories. Okay.
Okay. So you have to
Okay.
understand that it depends. So always like, yes, internally for your engineers, yes, you are creating user stories. That's okay because your Scrum team, your people,
Yes.
you people are in the same organization. So you can just throw the link and they'll be able to access. But credit score, let's say you're from Wells Fargo, the credit score company, Equifax engineers cannot access your Jira link.
Okay. Yes.
So for them, you create a Word document.
Okay. I got
So
it.
you
So
cannot.
primary. I'm sorry. So primary responsibilities is like gathering requirements
Mm,
and creating user stories,
mm,
documenting the requirements,
mm.
and coordinating with the tech teams during the SDLC.
Correct. That will be your core primary
Cool.
responsibility. Okay.
Okay.
So when you say BA means these two, for sure you have to do.
Okay.
Okay. Gathering requirements, creating documents.
Creating
That's a
documents.
given. Okay. Apart from testing and all is like, it depends upon the role. Whether
Okay.
you can test or whether there is any testing team, that and all, it's very, very, very like company specific. But
Okay.
when we say generically business analyst means you have
Mhm.
to gather requirements, you have to document. That is for sure.
Document.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If they gathering requirements means like for example, it's not simply like you schedule a call and then you ask like questions one by one, not like that. You need to
Hmm.
understand, first of all, as a BA, you need to understand like what is the process, why they want this project. So that details you have to
Okay.
get from the project manager.
Project manager.
Yeah,
Okay.
from the project manager, like before even you schedule the first call, like let's say that I'm the project manager, I'm coming and telling you that Sayed, we got funding like for 1 million, and
Okay.
there is a new like line of business coming to us. We are working for
Hmm.
Wells Fargo. Now Wells Fargo wants to launch maybe a new feature,
Okay.
okay, for
Hmm.
let's say for a state of Texas. They
Okay.
want to launch a new, we have funding and we got the stakeholders names and everything. So I'm just giving you high level information. Okay, the funding is available for 1 million and it's for state of Texas. Only these two things I know. I'm the project manager, only that much I know. I'm just giving you. So what you are going to say is you're going to like get these stakeholders names from me. Okay, then you'll be like, okay,
Okay.
give me the
Okay.
stakeholders names, I will like schedule the call.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
before even you schedule the call, you
Hmm.
just have to like contact them, ping them.
Okay.
Because while scheduling, you will invite many stakeholders, like at least like 5 to 6 people, all
Okay. Okay.
directors, staff, VP, like that.
Okay.
So you don't want to embarrass yourself scheduling the call and then asking like for simple things, right? So they are all staff
Yes.
VPs and they are the ones,
Okay.
so they have zero technical knowledge.
Yes.
IT have zero IT knowledge. They have not no knowledge. What they do is from leadership, there is a new like a business requirement saying that we want to launch a new feature, and then
Mm-hmm.
now coordinate with IT team. You are representing IT team.
Editing. Yes.
So
Yes.
what you have to do is before even they have no clue. So you have to like before you schedule the call, you have
Okay.
to do some kind of analysis. So that's what I'm saying. So when we gather requirements, you have to
Mm-hmm.
do like documentation analysis, whether something like that you can ask your manager. So do you know
Okay.
like high level what is this project about?
Okay.
Or you have no clue, you just like I mean high level, at least one line statement managers know what is
Yes.
this project about. So what
Yes.
feature, new
They
feature
will
means,
know about it.
yeah, yeah, what kind of feature, what they want, at least one line statements they will give. But most importantly, you will identify stakeholders.
Okay.
Okay, this,
Identify.
yeah, this itself is a huge task. Who's a primary stakeholder? Okay, and then
Oh,
who is
okay.
going to provide sign off?
Okay. We
This
need
is
to figure
itself
it
is,
out.
yes, you only have to figure it out.
Okay.
So by end, when you can create n number of documents, but who will provide sign off?
Sign off. Yes.
There are like 10 people I know, stakeholders, they're joining the call. Okay, but whose
Yes.
decision will be final?
Final. Okay.
Tomorrow, if I want to change the BRD, who needs to
Mm-hmm.
approve it?
Okay.
So even you have multiple stakeholders, you need to
Mm-hmm.
identify the primary one.
And there are some techniques.
Yes. So
Um,
how do you identify? See, let's say they are conflicting each other. So I have had this scenario where two
uh-huh.
three people will join. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Okay.
and then they themselves will be fighting, conflicting each other.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so now like they want, one person want this requirement, one person want that requirement, one person want this particular feature, one is like why do I want it like that, it's not needed, currently everything is going on fine, so they'll have conflict. And
Okay.
so you have to, that is why in the very first call you're
Mm-hmm.
going to say that this is a primary call, very first call. So the purpose of this call is for me to identify the stakeholders. I'm going to start writing the BRD, right?
Okay.
So for me is first I need to know who will provide. So first you tell that before you gather requirements itself, you ask them. So
Okay.
for this
In the beginning
project,
of the call.
yeah,
Mhm.
who's going to give me? Like you can, four people can be there. Everybody's director, staff VP. I understand it, but I need one
Mhm.
name.
Okay.
Okay, so now you need to like tell me who will be that final person. And you
Okay.
have to
And
tell
then
the
they will be.
responsibility also. See, when they give throw
Mhm.
names, it's not for
Okay.
fun. Okay, tomorrow something
Mhm.
happens, I will question you only. So you are the
Okay.
one giving me requirements. I'm documenting
Requirements.
it. It's a legal document. And
Okay.
I'm going to like once you sign off, when you sign off that BRD, means
Mm-hmm.
requirements are finalized. Going forward, any change in the BRD will delay the process, will cost you, and I mean, you will be the sole responsibility for any change request going forward.
Okay.
So you have to tell them the responsibility of being a primary stakeholder.
Okay.
So then they'll be like, oh, I don't want. Okay, okay, why you don't want to do. But see, you have to be smart enough, right? Because so
Mm-hmm.
they are throwing bunch of requirements at you. You document it, fine. But something they're changing. Who is that one person?
Okay. Yes.
So yeah, so identifying stakeholders, that is your primary. So I was responsible for identifying stakeholders. That also you can write. Okay, identifying
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
stakeholders, then gathering requirements, documentation. So these are like primary.
Primary. Yes.
Then after you write everything, user stories and all, now what you do, you have to
Mm-hmm.
coordinate with developer, technical team,
Developer. Technical teams. Yes. IT teams.
developers, testers, and also business owners.
So, is there any difference between the stakeholders and business owners?
No, they're same. Yes,
Yes. Okay.
business owners for getting UAT sign off.
Very sign off.
So after you get the UAT sign off or approval,
Mm-hmm.
then you can say that I was also responsible
Mm-hmm.
for deployment activities.
Coordinating with DevOps teams for deployment,
Yes, for deployment and post implementation
post implementation.
validation. So post implementation means like once the so after you
Application is
get the
live.
sign off, yes, after you get the sign off, you're moving the code to production. That is called as
Oh,
deployment.
deployment.
So
Yeah.
and then after you go live, you have to
Yeah.
validate the changes in production.
Okay. So
After you,
validate the changes in production. What does this mean? Actually mean?
so let's say that this one, right, this feature, if it's going live. Okay. Now this is a requirement. Okay. So the requirement, business requirement is get pre-qualified. I can come. There are three options. I have not even searched for my new house, or I'm already searched. I just want to make an offer. Need a loan right away. So these are the three options. If I need the loan right away, I'm looking for location. And then let's say my location is Maryland. Or let me say Edison, New Jersey. Okay. Next. What is the price? Next. Down payment. So I'm giving 20% down payment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's asking for my details, right?
Details.
So when
Okay.
it's asking for my details, first name, last name, phone number, all that, then
Yes.
I give you consent, and then by name, first name, last name itself, it is going to like it's going to actually like with the income
Okay.
and all, it will determine whether you are eligible or
Okay.
not. Okay.
It's like giving a trial.
Correct.
It's like a
Mm.
trial. Okay.
So I gave this information. So why this is because they want to like this will go and get saved in the database. Okay. In future they'll
Okay.
start sending you like letters and all.
Okay.
So you're
Okay.
giving address and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the
Yes.
yeah, in the address or like somehow like they'll be able to like send you. You will not know. Like they will send you like your YouTube will start throwing advertisements about mortgage
Yes.
loans somewhere in the back end. Everything is linked. Okay. So
I
now you're
will get
submit.
all the ads now.
Correct. You will also get it. I will also get it. So you are applying. So this is the feature. So once this is
Mm-hmm.
going live, when I mean the changes are in production, so now
Mm-hmm.
it is actually for public.
Public. Okay.
Okay. So let's say that this changes is going to production. This went production on like Friday.
Oh.
Okay. March 20, like 21st, these changes went to production. Today is Monday morning, 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Today, what you do, you log in into production area, production
Okay.
environment, and you are
Okay.
going to see whether these changes are available in production. Till now it will not be
Okay.
available, but from Friday night this feature is available.
Available. Okay.
So
Okay.
that is called as post implementation
Post
validation,
validation. Okay.
meaning it's available for public in
Public.
production.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the validation you're doing. Let's say this is not available. Okay, when
Mm-hmm.
you click on the link everything is blank,
Okay.
so that means a defect.
Okay.
So now you have to again go to Jira, create a production defect.
Production defect. Okay.
And then so
Just a
because
production
nothing
defect.
is working, no screen navigation, so this has to work, right? It has to go from one page to
Yeah.
another page. Let's say it's not going,
Mm-hmm.
then it's a defect.
Okay.
You have to fix,
And
engineers have to fix the defect.
okay. Also, we need to have some knowledge about database too, I believe.
So no database knowledge and all. This is just see, this is a requirement that you are gathering.
Okay.
Okay, so business is telling you if I want a page for for qualification. These are the questions. When they click, then it's going to go to a second page. Then we are seeing a few more questions. Then we are going to submit, right? Application. That's all. So whether it's
No, while
qualified
creating the FRDs.
in the FRD,
Yes.
yes. In the FRDs, yes. So now when we talk about now, what I'm talking is like post
Okay.
implementation
Post
validation.
implementation. Okay.
Yeah, for that and all, you don't need to. So only thing you need to know is you need to log into production environment
Prod-
and check.
Okay.
Don't log into like QA environment and all. Log into once the
Okay.
code goes live, right? You have to
Yes.
check in production.
In production. Okay.
In production, okay. Don't like
Okay.
change and then log in and then think that everything is working fine.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the only thing. So when we say like first 10 minutes, so you're going to say like this. Hi, I'm Syed. I have about 3+ of experience as a BA. I'm currently working as a business analyst in Wells Fargo company. I'm responsible for identifying stakeholders, gathering requirements, documentation, and for creating data flow diagrams, because diagrams and documentation, like some wants to like tell in like separate also. So you can say documentation, drawing data flow
Okay.
diagrams, creating data mapping documents, and also
Okay.
responsible for coordinating with my technical team, with my developers, testers. And once the development is completed, I'm responsible for getting the UAT sign off or approval
Yes.
from my business owners. So I was
Okay.
also responsible for deployment activities, for coordinating with my DevOps team, for code deployment. And once the code is live, I was also responsible for getting the post implementation validation.
Validation.
So
Okay.
this completely you have to say, like first
Okay.
5-10 minutes, slowly you're going to
Certainly.
say. Don't like mug up and then tell it fastly. Like slowly, as if you really worked.
Yes.
Yeah, like so.
Slowly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, slowly, and you're going to say. So why we are telling this in first 10 minutes is because we are just giving a clue to the interviewers that whatever is their expectation as a business
Hmm.
analyst, I have done it.
Okay.
So they need not be like, oh, do you have you done this? Have you done that? So you're stopping all of that. You're very clear what
Okay.
is your role and responsibility in my day-to-day activities.
Day-to-day
Okay.
activities.
So
Yes.
the keywords is, like I said, these are the keywords. Identify stakeholders, gathering requirements. So these are the
Mm.
some of the keywords.
Keyword.
But also you're going to say about agile related keywords.
Yes.
So agile related keywords in the sense you're going to say that in my last project, I worked in agile methodology. Okay, so so also I am responsible like every day like stand up calls. I'm responsible for attending daily stand up calls. Okay, sprint planning meetings, sprint review sessions, sprint retrospective. So you're going to use all this terminology. This is also very important. Okay, so
Okay.
along with
Mhm.
that, you're going to say this also. Okay, so these keywords are very, very important. Agile, this also you're going to add.
Okay.
So these keywords and these keywords you're going to say. So my last project was an agile methodology project. So my other responsibilities in my project was I used to like attend my daily stand-up meetings that happens every day in the morning, which is led by the Scrum Master, and also responsible for attending sprint planning meetings, sprint review sessions, and sprint retrospectivity. Why you're saying that in first 15 minutes itself? Because they have to clearly understand whether you worked in waterfall or agile or hybrid methodology.
Okay.
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 And like 90% they want agile only.
Agile. Yes.
Agile only. Yeah. So you can, before they ask, you are telling them in
Okay.
what methodology did you work, how much years of experience you have, and what project did you work, what was your daily responsibility, what was your core responsibility
For
in your
responsible.
project. And
Okay.
always you're going to use the word I was responsible, I am the lead BA, I am
Yes.
solely responsible, like that. Do not say we. Okay, I
Yes.
was
Actually,
responsible.
this thing happened with my roommate. He was constantly saying we, and the interviewer was asking, when you are saying we, who are we in this?
Yeah,
And
that's what.
he actually got to know that it was fake. So they will
Mm.
get to know if we say we.
Yeah, so you never say we, and I was responsible because means they are asking what is your role and responsibility. They're not asking
Yes.
your team's responsibility, right? So
Yes.
what is yours? So you be very, very cautious about the word that you use and what to tell. So what
Yes.
you can tell in 15 minutes is like you're going to showcase that you are an SME or an expert. Okay, so anything that domain related you can say. So, for example, I have knowledge in healthcare, I have knowledge in banking, I have knowledge in retail, whatever domain specific you have to say. And
Okay
anything
then.
like technical, for example, I have knowledge in SQL, I have knowledge with tools like Jira,
Power BI.
yeah,
Okay.
Confluence. I have a knowledge with knowledge in Power BI, and then I worked on like all this testing tools. Okay, responsible for writing test cases and then test scenarios. So that and all you have to, like, you can say. So when what to tell is this and all you can say anything related to domain. So in my past companies, I worked in healthcare domain, in banking domain, or retail domain. Anything you can say. You can say the company
Okay.
that you worked for, the client that you work for, the project that you work for. For
Mm-hmm.
example, when you say healthcare means very specific to which country, whether you're talking
Okay.
about US healthcare or UK healthcare, whatever client that you worked for. So if you have worked in US healthcare, you're going to say, so I worked for US healthcare, like these are, I worked for payer side, I worked for hospital, like very specifically you're going to tell.
Okay.
If
Okay.
it's payer means like very specifically, whether it's government based, whether it's Medicare or Medicaid or commercial.
Okay.
So which line of business?
Okay. Okay.
Very
Yeah.
specifically you're going to say that and all you
Mm-hmm.
can say. For banking means what is the name of the bank, and under banking, for example, under banking you have multiple, right? Online banking is there, mobile banking is there, then we have credit card processing team is there are multiple teams inside the bank. So which specific banking are you
Okay.
talking about, what team are
Mm-hmm.
you talking about? So under healthcare means like whether multiple teams, you have enrollment team, you have claims team, you have
Claims.
payment,
Yes.
you have pricing team, you have
Yeah.
content management team, you have member portal team, you have like all this chatbot, that team is also there, mobile app is also there. For healthcare also we have multiple teams. So
Yes.
which specifically are you talking when you say I have experience in domain, like what is specifically? Are you talking about member
Mm-hmm.
portal? Are you talking about provider specific portals? Are you talking about like Medicare means like which, what is the exact domain that you're talking? So that and all you can, if you have experience, you can say. Let's say that
Okay.
you have no clue, then do not
Mm-hmm.
talk that and all. Let's say,
Okay.
for example, like you don't know anything about healthcare, then don't say I have experience. I have little bit, that and all. Don't say this little bit should not at all come.
Okay.
I know little bit of SQL. I know little bit. That word little bit should, you should avoid little bit because some people know I have little bit, ma'am. Then they see, they will ask you a question. Rate yourself.
Okay.
So
Yes.
can you rate yourself like out of 10? How much you know SQL?
Mm-hmm.
Then they will come to you. Okay, out of 10, how much you do you know Power BI? Because when you say I know certain stuff, when you say I know
Mm-hmm.
SQL, how much you know?
How much you know? Yes.
So whatever you're going to tell here that I have knowledge about, at least you should cover the basic part. For SQL
So
means basically like select statement, joins, basic you need to know.
okay.
Otherwise, don't
CRUD
say.
operations, like aggregates, Windows functions, cities.
Mm,
Do we use cities as a BA?
no,
It
no.
is like
Yeah,
no.
we don't use it. So in
Okay.
my team, we don't use it. So see, when we say what to tell, at least you need to be 60% confident about the tool.
Okay.
Otherwise, don't say.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise,
Mm.
what not to tell is like whichever tool you don't know, tools that you don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Then terminologies that you have no clue.
Hmm.
Okay. So for example, like they have some people like, yeah, I have worked in Medicaid projects. Okay, I have worked in Medicare projects. Okay, you say that. Now they are going to ask you more questions, right? Difference between Medicare, Medicaid. Under Medicare, how many plans are there? What is meant by Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D? Tell me. So then going forward, this person don't know what is the difference between. Then you'll be like, yeah, I don't know about it. So you have to be very, very like careful on. Do not tell the interviewer about the topics that you have. You don't know at least 50%. If you don't have the knowledge about the topic, don't tell them. First 15 minutes, don't tell them. So first 15 minutes, what we are going to showcase is like the topics that you know more well, very well. You're
Okay.
just saying, yeah, only those things you're going to say. So, for example, any questions in Jira, you'll be able to handle. Any questions in Confluence, yes, I can handle. Any questions in
Mm-hmm.
Power BI, yes, I can handle. If they're asking, like, okay, you have developed test cases, give me a scenario, you should be able to handle. Domain knowledge, if I tell them I know banking, they're going to throw me a bunch of questions. Whether I can handle it, yes, I can handle it. Only then you have to say.
Okay.
Okay, topics that you are not confident, not familiar, just heard in internet, in YouTube, then only like no, only a couple of days ago, please don't tell them. Okay, so
Okay.
that's very, very
Mm-hmm.
important because the moment you tell them, from then they will ask you questions.
They will start asking this.
So also you need to, like, the last line, always when you finish it off about tell me about yourself, the
Okay.
last one, please finish it with the topic that you know very well. The last line. Like for example, like, yeah, I have also knowledge about healthcare, banking and all, but again in the last line, right, always finish it with the keyword, with something you know very well. For example, you know about Jira, Confluence very well, finish it with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because 90% is like from that keyword only they're going to ask you.
Yes.
Okay, so the last sentences that you're finishing, right, should be the topics that you know very well, that you can handle it. Because the following question, now you finished it, now you're throwing the dice on their side, now they have to ask you another question, second question. Now,
Mm-hmm.
so when you leave that last sentences with the topics that you know, there's a high chance they're going to ask the question from that only, from that topic only. Okay, so you can say that, yeah, I know about Jira. I know how to write user stories. I have experience in writing user stories. I know how to create epics and user stories and tasks and defects in Jira. Confluence I have used to create all my documentation. If you know that, just finish it with that. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe then he'll be like, oh, now you know Confluence, because our their brain is like the keyword, whatever last that we are saying, from that only, like mostly they will ask you
You're
next
gonna
question.
follow it. Okay.
Yeah. So do not tell whatever you don't know. Don't say little bit. I have only less knowledge. I have, when you rate out of
Mm-hmm.
10, don't give below 6.
Okay.
Okay. At least 6 you're going to say. If you give below 6 means you yourself are admitting that you don't have knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you say like I know SQL, basics you need to know. As a BA, like where do you use SQL? Why do you use SQL? What are scenarios? So that I will teach you in next questions. But first,
Okay.
like 10 minutes, like now you understood, right? What to say, what
Yes.
not to say.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now can you tell me? Because I'm going to
So,
ask you. Just explain. If I say like, Syed,
yes.
please tell me about yourself. Introduce yourself.
So I would first say thank you for having me here today. And my name is Sayed. I have about 3 years of experience as a BA. Currently, I'm working at so and so company for over 1.5 year now. Where I'm my day-to-day responsibilities include uh, gathering requirements from the business, from the stakeholders, documenting them, and creating BRDs, FRDs. I'm also responsible to create data flow diagrams and data mapping documents. I have also uh, I'm also responsible to coordinate with IT teams and business owners. Uh, and Now I should talk about agile, right? After that,
Yes, correct.
okay. So at my in my current project, I have been working in an agile environment where I have been involved in attending regular stand-up calls with sprint planning meeting and sprint review sessions, along with sprint retrospectives. So now I have to,
Now
after
you
this, I
talk
have
about
to
the tools. Yes.
tools. Okay.
Mm,
After this, in my recent project, I was using Jira for creating user stories with acceptance criteria. I was also responsible to create task uh, defects in Jira, and I was responsible for using Confluence for documentation and Power BI for creating interactive dashboards and using SQL for ad hoc analysis. I was also responsible to create test cases and test scenarios.
okay. So now, yeah. So accordingly, you're going to like add like whatever you're familiar, right?
Okay.
That one you're going to add an
Mhm.
end.
Yes.
And make sure you talk at least about this for at least for 3 to 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yes, I will. I will just practice,
Mm,
and then I will make it a bit longer, at least
mm,
like 6 to 7 minutes.
mm.
While adding my current company's responsibilities to, and ending with the tools I know better.
Correct. So you're going to like take it slowly, very
Slowly. Yes.
confidently, and do not like stop like abruptly also the
Okay.
sentences. For
Okay.
example, hi, I'm Syed. I know, not like that. Like not as if
Yes.
you're like mugging up, right? So it
Mugging.
needs to
Okay.
be like with the flow naturally. It
Yes.
needs to be very like very confident and very natural, and that you have worked. Okay,
Okay.
that's how you're going to answer. I think the call is going to end. Can you join back?
Sure. Yeah. Of course. Okay.
Okay. Now the second question is like how to answer scenario based business analyst question. So once you introduce about yourself, you are giving them a high level idea of what you did, what was your roles and responsibilities and all. So this is like when you have experience, and you're talking about like you have at least 1+ years of experience, you're telling all of it. But let's say that you don't have any experience. Okay, you are just a graduate, you are an MS graduate, you're genuinely like telling them that you finish your graduation only in December. Now you're like searching for the job. Let's say you're applying for internship, or you have no job experience in prior. Now you're going to like completely be very honest with them. Then you're going to say that, hi, I'm Syed. I have finished my graduation in December 2024. Currently I'm like searching for a new job as a BA. So now like if you're very honest with the interviewer and you're not showcasing any like experience stuff, you're going to say that, why do you want to become a BA? Okay, why am I applying this job? And then why do you think that you are very much interested in BA? So you're going to say that my last graduation was maybe you've done business analytics. So that's why I want to become a BA. Or I have my bachelor's was in a certain discipline, and now my MS is in a certain discipline. So I always wanted to become a BA. And why you are interested? Why you are that person who are interested being a BA, what and all you like. So for example, you like documenting, you like talking to people, and then you like working in healthcare, you like working in banking, you're attracted to those domains. So when you have zero experience, you're going to showcase as if like, why do you want to see, they may hire you or they may not hire you, that end result is different. But from your perspective, you have no experience, you are just a fresh graduate, you are telling them that you want to become a business analyst. Okay, it can be a
Yeah, we
junior
should
business
have the
analyst.
clarity.
Yeah, so you're going to tell them that, yeah, I am a junior, I don't have any real time experience, but I'm very much interested. Why am I interested? Because I have done my MS in business analytics, and I always wanted to become a BA, and I'm always drawn to like certain domains. So, and you're going to say that, why? Because you like talking with people, you like engaging with people, you like documenting stuff. And always for freshers, you have to go with always like some kind of use case in your hand. Okay, for freshers, I tell people like, you have to like do some kind of documentation in prayer and show it to them. If it's in person, you show it. Or if even if it's in a Zoom call, like you have to like, you can always say that, can I show you some of the work that I've done? Because if you're a fresher, how will you impress them? Because you don't have any real time experience, right? So you're going to show some of
Yeah.
your work. See, this is the BRD that I've created. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
use case. For this particular use case, I have created a BRD. For this particular use case, I have drawn some data flow diagrams. For this particular use case, I have drawn some wireframe diagrams. Can you please take a look? Nobody will be like, don't show it to me.
Okay.
So
Okay.
nobody will be like, oh no, don't
Yeah.
show it to me, because you are there for an interview. So always for freshers, if you're very genuine, you can say that this is work I did in my MS.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been simultaneously I've been working on, this is one of the examples. So even you have not worked on some real time, in the interview you're going to say that I have a lot of interest, I really want to become a BA, and that's why I have like 5 use cases. One is in banking domain, one is in healthcare domain. So and then you're going to show them the work that you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, there is no way that you can impress the interviewer.
Okay.
So you're going to say,
Ma'am,
"Hmm,
also one more thing. Sorry for interrupting. So, for the people who become very nervous, how to overcome this nervousness? Like while interviewing, most of the people like me become nervous and choke at most of the times.
see, if you see anyway, if you become nervous or not, that if you become, see, one thing, if you become nervous, right, what idea will I get? If I'm the interviewer and I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking you some questions and you suddenly become nervous, so
Yeah.
what impression will I get?
That I will not be able to
Yeah, if
fulfill
you
the
cannot
requirement of
manage
this role.
me, how will you
Yes,
manage the stakeholders?
stakeholders. Yes, that's right.
They are from leadership, right? So they are all staff VPs and managers. So if
Yes,
you cannot handle this one like 30-minute call with me,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
How are you going to handle when I give you a project, when I ask you to lead, when I ask you to like schedule a session, when you
Yes.
invite 5 people from leadership?
Mm-hmm.
So this is an example. You handling me in the interview is an example how you're going to handle other stakeholders in the call.
Other people. Okay.
So you have to remember that you can say I have confidence. How are you going to express that in the call?
Mm-hmm.
You being very casual. Okay, you have no
Okay. Okay.
nervousness. You being very casual with them, very
Casual.
friendly with
Okay.
them, very enthusiastic. You are like ready to get this job.
Okay.
See, don't worry about the final output.
Okay.
Okay, final output. If you're nervous, also you won't get it.
Yes.
At least if you're confident, means there is a chance that
Yes.
you can get the job. Okay, so you have to always think,
Yes.
if I'm nervous, I'm 100% they're not going to hire me, because that's the not the quality that they're looking for.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
How
so they
how did you overcome this communication gap issue?
so
With,
you for so for, see, when your brain, right, that
mm-hmm.
your brain, see, let's say that you're new to swimming. Okay, now
Yes.
I'm pushing you in water. First time it will
Mm-hmm.
panic, but
Yes.
I'm doing the same thing. Okay, daily at morning 8 a.m.
Yes.
you're coming to the swimming pool, I'm pushing you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
fifth day you will be relaxed, right? So you'll be like,
Yes.
that's a expected behavior. So your brain is like, anyway, 8 a.m. Some person is going to come and push me, I'm going to fall. Okay, so now you have to
Okay.
tune your brain. So before the interview,
Mm-hmm.
a week before the interview, every day you have to like do mock interview with yourself.
Okay.
So you practice in the mirror, ask your friends to ask questions, or you get a hire a coach, ask, like, so you're putting yourself in the stress environment again and again and again.
Yes. Yes.
So then finally after the 6th day or the 7th day, your brain won't recognize, it won't even recognize this as a stress environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's another like person talking to you, that's it.
Yes. That
So
makes
you
sense.
cannot take the interview call directly. That's one thing I always say to my candidate. Do not take the
Mm-hmm.
interview call, like first attempt itself with bunch of people.
Okay. Okay.
So your brain will shut down. It will try to protect you. It doesn't want to embarrass you.
Yes.
So you'll get panic and nervous, and you'll be like, 10th minute, you'll be like, I don't want to take this forward. You yourself will drop from the call
Yes. That's right.
because you don't want yourself to be embarrassed. So you create that, stimulate that same environment at least like continuously for 5 days before the actual interview.
Okay.
Okay, so either your friends can ask you questions. So ask them, like that is your friends not only is only for playing, right? You can ask them. So
Yes.
okay, why don't you like 30 minutes? You ask me a bunch of questions or ask me any kind of questions.
Mm-hmm.
So you practice with your friends, practice in the mirror, practice with the coach. If you have money, you hire a coach, practice with the coach,
Yes.
and then you become very familiar with that interviewing that environment.
Yes.
Okay, then
Mm-hmm.
by that 7th day, your brain is so much used to that pressure, right? So then now it's very casual. So what you and the questions are already expected only. 90% it will be expected questions.
Expected
They are
questions.
not
Yes.
going to ask you something like very, very unexpected. That is not like 10% there is a chance, but mostly
Mm-hmm.
90% we have a format for the interview. Tell me about
Okay.
yourself, tell me about your last project, why do you want to become, tell me, like they have like a certain pattern.
Okay.
So you need to practice with that environment, that same
Mm-hmm.
questions in the same
Mm-hmm.
environment. So then
Mm-hmm.
by fifth, sixth day, you'll become like your brain is so much used to that questions, right? It'll be like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, fine, I can handle it. At least I'll not be embarrassed.
Yes. That's right.
So you cannot like directly take the interview for sure, especially if you don't have any job experience in prayer. You
Mm-hmm.
are a recent graduate, and in your college,
Recently.
they didn't train you, they didn't do any placement training. That's why in colleges you have placement training, because
Okay.
they sit bunch of people will sit and they will like throw like group training and all, right? Like people ask you
Yes.
questions, and then the coach is going to ask you questions, they'll put you in stress
Here in
environment.
US, we don't have that.
That's why US they just charge you, and then no
Yes.
no training, nothing. Let's just learn about
We
yourself.
just have this presentation skills because we have done a lot of presentations during our courses.
Hmm. So
We
what
just,
actually exactly they should coach you is interviewing skills only.
yes, they don't do it here.
Placement, right? Like you need to have a department called placement, and then they
Placement,
have to
yes.
like completely coach you. At least for 3 months, they have to coach you repeatedly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like with no coaching, with no experience, and then directly facing 4 people in the panel, of course you're going to get nervous.
Yes,
So
especially here in the US, we add so much of experience and try
yes,
chasing.
yes, yes. The expectation is very high here, right? So you
Yes.
have to, without any training, without coaching, and then without even preparation, and then
Yeah.
you go and tell that you added so much experience in your resume. Now you're going showcasing as if you are an expert SME in that particular field, and then you're talking to actual experienced people.
Yeah.
So if you automatically your brain is going to shut down. So you have to prepare before the race, actual race. You prepare every day, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
on always, like if you're so much used to that environment,
Mhm.
you'll be like taking interview very casually.
Okay.
Like you will never have anything because you're so much used to that environment. You'll be like, okay,
Yes.
what? Four people will join the call. They're going to throw
Hmm.
me some questions. That's totally fine.
And
So
if it goes well, then it's okay. If it doesn't, I'm not never gonna see them again. We are
yeah,
not
you're
gonna
never
meet
nobody.
again.
You don't even they may not, see they are interview for you. You will identify them, but for them, you are
Yeah.
just one among the other candidates.
Yes.
So with you, like they are interviewing 10 people. So that's one thing. See, imagine like other candidates are not getting trained. Okay. So everybody is
Mhm.
panicking.
Yes.
Okay. Now you are very confident. You will stand out.
Yeah. Makes
Okay. If
sense.
10 people are there, they will,
Mhm.
okay, Syed is not panicking. Syed is very confident. Syed is like answering all the questions. At least he is not answering all the questions. At least he is very cool.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
So if he
Hmm.
is very cool in an interview, definitely he'll be very nice in the requirement gathering session.
Requirement
He's
gathering.
not going
Okay.
to panic the stakeholders. He's not going to ask them silly questions. He's not going to put
Mm.
our team in a situation where we are going to get embarrassed. So that is a quality. Actually, you have to be very cool because that's the expectation from the interview. But that confidence that you're showing means you are a very good BA.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
BA won't have any. See, you are the one gathering requirements, right? The developer will be
Yes.
silent. Tester team, they will
Silent.
not
Yeah.
open the mouth. They'll be very
Mm.
silent. You are the one
Backend team.
representing the whole team.
Yes.
So whether you know it or not, you have to be confident. And you have to understand that once you get hired, they are not expecting you to know everything about the project because they know you are a new hire. You have to learn stuff. And then
Hmm.
in the call also, even if it's going to be a very brand new project, you will then they know you are a new hire. You joined the company recently. So they will give you that time. It's not that from day one they're asking you to lead a project. No, nobody will do that. Even your project manager won't do that. They will give at least 1 week or at least 2 weeks for you to get used to the environment.
Okay.
So that and all is secondary. But you have to first is you have to prepare thoroughly before the
Prepare.
actual
Okay.
interview. 1 week every day with
Hmm.
your friends, with the coach, you have to practice. Then you have to
Okay.
have a mindset that I have to be cool. That is a very important attitude. Otherwise, anyway, I'm not going to get the job. So if I, at least if I'm cool and I'm answering 70% of the questions, there is a bigger chance.
Okay.
And then the third one is how do you stand out?
Hmm.
Because you can train anybody technically. I can teach you SQL, I can teach you
Yes.
domain, but I cannot
Yes.
teach you to be very confident. Like that's not
Yes.
IT teams work to teach to
Yes.
be.
Yes.
That is not personal development, personality
Yeah.
development skills, right? So
Yeah.
you can't expect your colleague to teach you how to be confident. That's not. They may teach
Yeah.
you like process, what is the
Okay.
process, how this IT application works, what how to handle calls and all. Yes, fine, that they will teach you, but they won't. You cannot expect them to teach you how to be confident and all, right? So that's a
Yeah.
very primary basic skill to become a BA. You being confident
Mhm.
in the interview or with a group of people.
Okay.
Primary skill. So so for me, like the technique is practice at least 5 days before the interview. You have to practice.
Okay.
Okay. And so yeah, with no experience, for example, you don't have any experience, then you have to definitely show them some work for documentation. You have to create one BRD, list of user stories, data flow diagrams, wireframe
Okay.
diagrams, take
Okay.
multiple use cases, one with healthcare
Okay.
domain, one with banking, one with retail, like that.
Okay.
Whatever is available in the internet, you create a document and
Mm-hmm.
don't even like worry whether I can show it or not. You have to show it.
Sure. Okay.
Otherwise, there is nothing to talk in the interview.
Yeah.
You cannot say I'm a recent graduate, I'm a recent graduate. So everybody is a recent graduate, but what makes you unique is like you are very serious about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and
In
then you
fact, I was thinking about creating a BRD just
mm,
for interview purpose, so that if even if they ask or if they don't, I will be able to showcase one
correct. You can showcase
documentation
your
skill.
documentation. And One more thing is you always say that I am working on a certification, business analyst certification.
Certification. Okay.
Okay, so I'm preparing. I'm preparing for IIBA's certification,
Okay.
and I will be taking it in a month. I'm preparing. That you have to say if you are a beginner.
Okay. Okay.
So all these things will give them an impression that you are actually very serious about being a B and you want this to be
Mm-hmm.
your career.
Okay.
So you have already prepared some documents. You're studying for some certification. Means you're really interested being a becoming a
Yes.
BA, right? So it's not that you're just you got an interview call and then you are attending the interview. Not you're very particular that you want to get into this role, and you also must research on the company. If you're the
Okay.
newbie, if you are a
Mm-hmm.
beginner, you're not showcasing any experience in the
Mm-hmm.
resume, then like what is this company about? Okay, now this is a banking sector. What are the latest changes they have done? How
Okay.
who are their competitors in the market? Like for example, let's say that you're getting interviewed for Wells Fargo. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now Wells Fargo sometimes they also might not know what their company has done, so you are going to tell them.
Okay.
Okay, so Wells
Mm-hmm.
Fargo has some of the features that other companies don't have. So what is it? Their
Okay.
prime competitors are like maybe Bank of America, maybe different companies, right? Chase, they are the other competitors. So what is
Mm-hmm.
different in Wells Fargo? You have to do research. So Wells
Okay.
Fargo is known for like let's say let's Wells Fargo is known for giving this $300 like reward when you open a
Okay.
new account. They are giving $300.
Mm-hmm.
Other Chase is giving $200.
Okay.
Now they are giving
Okay.
$300. So very minute details about that company you're going to say.
Okay.
And then how did they perform in the last quarter?
Not the generic, but minute.
Very minute details. So this tells that you are really interested in Wells Fargo.
Okay.
Okay, so you can always say what are the features that they released like last quarter. So research
Mm-hmm.
on the company. What is their
Okay.
hiring policy? What how unique they are? How is their like go review them in Google? Like people already existing employees would have given reviews about this company, right? So whether
Mm-hmm.
they are very much like multi-diverse company, how friendly they are, what is very unique about them, whether they give bonuses, or whether like how important is for them like being in a multicultural like situation. So you take details. So this different work culture is
Mm-hmm.
different, but on like how important for them is member experience, what are the benefits they're giving for members. So
Okay.
Wells Fargo is giving $300, Chase is giving only 200. That is different. $100 is extra, so people prefer to become a Wells Fargo uh, like like a member, right? So
Yeah.
you have to like if you have this is for newbies like no experience in your resume, you're going
Mm-hmm.
to impress them, like you're going to research about this company in and out. How
Company.
did they
Okay.
perform last quarter? What are the new features they have given for the members? What kind of rewards they are giving? What is their hiring
Mm-hmm.
policy background? So you tell them like yeah, what if they ask about why do you want to join the company? Okay, they'll may ask you that question, why do you want to
Yeah.
join our company? So you just say that yeah, I know I've researched about Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo has been here for like last 30 years. It's the prime competitors are other banks like Bank of America and Chase, but people prefer Wells Fargo for certain reason. I have done research on
Okay.
like what are the new benefits and rewards that you're giving. So you just
Mm-hmm.
impress them.
Okay.
So
Even now, they are asking, what do you know about the company? Even for the experienced people, they are asking, what do you know about our company?
yes,
I
yes, you
have got a
cannot.
couple of screening calls where
Mm.
they ask, what do you know about the company and why do you want to join?
That's for sure because without knowing anything about this company, then why do you want to? You're not even taking effort to know us. What is
Yeah.
that company about? So why do you want to hire us? So especially if you are a fresher, please research. That's one thing I want to say. Research about the client.
Okay.
So let's say you don't know the client, you are just getting
Mm-hmm.
interview only for a service base, let's say CTS. So research
Mm-hmm.
about a CTS. CTS is
Okay.
famous for like what are they famous for? What are the clients that they have, and what are the
Mm-hmm.
in-house products they have?
Okay.
Okay, so and then like you can always say how very well like CTS performed. Who is their CEO? You need to know currently who is their CEO, when did he join the company, how did the CTS perform last quarter, whether they are in profit mode or loss mode,
Okay.
what are the benefits. So some details they themselves may not know. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to
Okay.
impress them saying that you may be a fresher, but you know you have researched about this company, and then why do you want to join the company. For example, if you're joining for CTS, you just say them like, yeah, I want to join CTS because compared to other companies in the market, CTS has much better policies. It has very better work environment. I have researched that in Indeed and all. Like, you can give them examples like. So I really want to get into CTS. CTS has multiple like on-site clients. They have like clients like healthcare. They have clients with banking. They have clients with retail. They have much different variety of clients. So I can learn in every domain, right? When I join CTS means for maybe 3 years I can work in healthcare, and if I want to change to a different domain, I can do that. So
Okay.
for me, the scope for learning is very high. Also, CTS also gives like that free certification program. So if you want to
Mm-hmm.
like, you can apply for like annually. You can take 2 3 certifications. They pay for you.
Okay.
So all this like small things, like you have to
Okay.
say that. That's why I always compare to other companies. Same thing you change. If you go to Deloitte, you do Deloitte and then tell them, okay, it's not that you're very
Just the pros. Just tell them about the pros.
Mm. And if you're going through referral, it's even better. See, referral means you can always say that my friends have told me about this. And you can always say my relatives have been working in CTS, so I know I'm very well aware of CTS. Or my friends have been working with Deloitte, I know very well about it. But just for the particular situation, you're going to give the hype that you know everything about the company.
Yes.
What is
And
their work environment?
referral interview is way like easier, I believe.
Mm. So you research, if you know about the end client, it's very good because you talk about domain stuff. You know, you can talk about. So if you know, like for example, you have 2 interviews, first with CTS and next with the end client, Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in that case, you tell both. So why do you want to join CTS and why do you want Wells Fargo is also a client. I know about banking stuff, and then you talk about them also, impress them because only if
Okay.
you clear this round, they will put you in the final round.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So if you talk about Wells Fargo, no, so what CTS interviewers will think is like, okay, this person knows something about banking.
Okay.
Okay, so knows
Mm-hmm.
about core BA stuff, knows about banking. So we can definitely give him a chance to go to the next
Okay.
round.
Okay.
Okay, then actual
Definitely.
Wells Fargo team is going to hire you, right? That's when you're going to
Yeah.
put a lot of effort and talk about Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's
Okay.
very, so these are very minute stuff like that you have to tell in the interview. Like,
Mm.
especially if you don't have experience, you're going to tell them that um, I know enough about your team. I know enough about the client also. And why do you want to become a BA? For that, you are going to say, I love being with people. I love being
Mm-hmm.
gathering requirements. I love problem solving, and I like documentation. Here are some of my work.
Okay.
So this one, like definitely you're going to say. So if you say most, like 90% of what I told, if you tell right, they'll have a very
Mm-hmm.
good impression. First 15 minutes is very crucial.
Okay.
So this covers most of the stuff, right? As a BA.
Yes. Yes. Most of the stuff is covered.
So what next? They'll be like wondering. So if other people won't say it, I'm just giving a format of how to say. So other people
Yeah.
will jump from one thing to another thing to another thing.
Yes.
But you will
This
be
is a
like,
proper format.
yeah,
Yes.
organized way. When you say this in a certain way, in an organized way,
Yeah.
they'll be like, okay, this person is really professional.
Yes.
You have to give that impression. So
This is
that's
very
what.
organized. I will surely work on this and create a proper
Mm,
introduction.
correct. So how to impress the hiring team in 15 minutes? So first you have to like say certain, first of all, you have to say slow,
Mm.
steady,
Okay. Okay.
okay, confident,
Mm-hmm.
chill bill. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, see, you're going to understand. Only if you're chill, you're going to get hired.
Hired. Yeah.
Any signs of
That's right.
anxiety, any signs of stress means you're already out of the game.
Especially in the beer also.
Correct. So you're going to understand that if I'm anxious,
Yeah.
okay, if I'm
Mm.
anxious, any signs of anxiety, any signs of low confidence means I'm already not out of the game. I'm not even
Not
in the
really.
competition.
Okay.
So you're going to show them you are very energetic, you are very young, energetic, enthusiastic, ready to go, ready to perform. So not some person who is complaining. So they may also ask you like, do you have any conflicts with your stakeholder? That analyst is just identify what is your personality. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to
Mm-hmm.
say always when they talk about conflicts between team members, conflict between
Mm-hmm.
stakeholders, you're going to give examples only as a technical conflict.
Okay.
Okay. Do not say that. I don't like his behavior. I don't like his attitude. He's very
Okay,
short
okay.
tempered. Or don't say that. If they ask you, like, what is your weakness? Don't say that I'm short tempered. I like
Okay.
to be very perfect. Means you're not flexible.
Yes.
So when they ask you, define a conflict between your stakeholders, or tell me where situation about where you had a conflict with stakeholders, where you have to convince your technical team. Always take an example of a technical conflict. Okay,
Okay.
technical conflict in the sense
Like
I
a
asked,
requirement.
yes, yeah, requirement only you're going to say. So I
Mhm.
said like this is a better approach, but my
Mhm.
engineers had a different way, so we had conflict. So I suggested a certain thing for this particular feature, then stakeholders were not happy, but later I told the pros and cons of the feature and then let them decide. I'm not deciding for the stakeholders. Whatever feature I suggested, I just told the pros and cons. So that example you're going to say. Never tell them that you are a short tempered person. Never say that you are perfectionist. Never tell
Okay.
them that you get agitated by others' behavior. Never tell them
Mhm.
that I always want to be on time. So nobody will be on time. Only you can be on time. Other people, you cannot make other people on time. Also, in IT, right, everything is agile. The requirements will change constantly.
Constantly. Yeah.
Almost every day it is going to change. So today
Okay.
business owners are coming and telling you that I want this and this. Then after 2 days
Mhm.
they're coming and telling you I want this and this. So you should not be agitated.
Okay. Yeah.
So change in requirements you're going to face every day in your job role.
It is
Okay,
part of our job. So,
correct. Requirements changing, business owners giving you conflicting requirements,
mhm.
business owners changing requirements. When you're going to move the code to production, that time they're coming and changing, stop it. So
Okay.
you cannot be angry with them, agitated with them, short
Mhm.
tempered
Yeah.
with them. So you have to understand when they say like, give me an example of because they will ask you, give me an
Mm.
example of conflict. Okay. And what is your strength and weakness? Always you're going to showcase as if you solved things, you had conflict only in technical terms. You had never had any personal revenge or anything personal problems with the stakeholder, I mean with other team members too.
Okay.
And you are a very cordial person, very friendly person, very professional person.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how will you showcase that? You have going to say, see, I work in an agile methodology, my last project was at agile methodology. So my requirements are constantly changing, right? So I need, there is no need for me to become as short tempered or nothing. And it cannot be perfect in an agile environment. You cannot be perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so that
Mm.
one is very crucial because some people know they've answered that. What is your weakness? My weakness is I'm a very very short tempered person. Short tempered person, and I get agitated when other people don't finish their work on time. So I'm like, no, you're not going to suppose nobody's going to finish work on time.
Yes.
And you are a perfectionist and you can only be the perfectionist in your team. So that's not the quality is like as a
Yeah.
group how well we perform.
Yeah. We shouldn't confess any behavioral traits in front of.
Correct. So you don't be dominant. That's also there. So okay, don't be very dominating, stubborn, and very like um because BAs will lead the call, right? They will have attitude for being very dominating in the call.
Yeah.
So, but that if you always want everybody to nod whatever you say, then that's not a good
Mhm.
trait. So you need to be
Yeah.
friendly, accept others' points. If someone is triggering you, also they will trigger. In reality,
Mhm.
right? People will trigger. The developer will
Trigger.
trigger.
Yes.
Stakeholders will trigger you. They will trigger
Yes.
you. So you just
Yes.
have to say that um okay, it's not give me some time, and I will can I answer this question in a couple of days. So when you get triggered, immediately
Mhm.
you have to take some time off from the call.
Okay. Okay.
You that you got it right. When they trigger you,
Yeah.
okay, when a bunch of
Okay.
people like they trigger you, you have to say that I
Mm-hmm.
understand your concerns, but I think I cannot answer this question right now. So I
Okay.
have to like discuss with my internal team, and then can I get back with this for this particular question maybe like tomorrow? Is that okay? Is that fine? You calm down.
Okay.
Okay, so BA
Mm-hmm.
should never be exploding in the call.
Okay.
Okay, that's a primary skill. So the same
Hmm.
thing you are going to like impress the hiring team, right? You're going to say that I'm very slow and steady and confident, chill pill guy. I don't have any anxiety issues. I don't have any low confidence issues. I don't have any personality disorder issues, nothing. And I'm very much
Okay.
open for all these constant changes in the work environment. You throw me in a very stressed environment, I can handle it. So that's how you're going to say. So that how you will say is the way you answer every question, right? You need to be
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, fine, that's fine. You're asking me a question, and I'm going to answer it with my best of ability. I'm answering it. There's nothing to get anxious
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Okay, that's how you're going to.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we'll continue with this class tomorrow, Syed. Hi, Syed. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Pradeepa, ma'am. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. My voice is like I have a little bit sore throat, but it's fine. So So, yeah, today we are going to talk about like scenario based BA questions. Okay. So, when
Okay.
it comes to scenario, what usually they ask is like, um, tell me a scenario where you had difficulty in gathering requirements. Okay. And then, can you tell me a scenario where you are unable to um, like convert, like how do
Mhm.
you convert business requirements into technical specifications? Can you give me a use case? And how do you like explain non-technical, yeah, this is also a word. So how do you explain? Okay. And then, yeah, these are some of the very generic they may be asking you, which they want you to
Okay.
explain like in detail with a use case. Okay. So
Okay.
whenever they're giving you like situation questions or scenario based questions, if you're already experienced, or let's say you're already experienced, you have like about 4 to 5 years of experience as a BA, what you have to know is those in the project. Okay. In the project, you have to take an example of a particular business requirement. Okay, so let me take an example of this Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo company is there, and if you see, they have their online and mobile banking, right? So you can see here they can you can manage their accounts. You can use either online banking using their online web portal, or you can download their mobile app in your phone, and you can also do the same feature functionalities. Okay, for example, you can manage your accounts, you can transfer money, you can pay your bills, you can see your all your old statements and everything. So the functionality, whatever you have in online banking, will be there in mobile banking too. Okay, everything. So compatible, like
Oh.
whether it is Android or it is iPhone, whatever it is, we are going to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that irrespective of any type of phone, the Wells Fargo mobile app, right, has to go hand in hand with the online banking. So whatever feature we have in online banking, for example, online banking means you're having a laptop, you're having a computer, you're able to sign in on, and then
On
whatever
the
your
web browser.
web browser, correct. The
Okay.
same features it needs to be there in the mobile application too. So some of them are, I told you, right? Like you can manage, you can see all your like checking account or savings account. You can transfer money, you can receive money, you can send money,
Yes.
and you can also pay your like old credit card bills. You
Yes.
can see your last month statement. So all these functionalities, it needs to be both in online and mobile banking. Okay.
Okay.
So these two are there. So let's say like you are just mimicking, and online banking is there. In mobile banking, you don't have this like this transfer money, this Zelle feature. Let's say this is a new feature. You are able to see your old accounts and everything. You are able to see your old history and everything. But this transfer money feature is not there. And it is only available in the web application or online banking like application, but it's not available in mobile application when you were a BA and you helped them to mimic the Zelle feature, and then you made sure that there is a digital wallet. So all these features, right? These are like new features which you wanted in mobile banking. That's a business use case. I'm just giving an example. That's a business use case. So this is an existing feature in web application, but this is not in phone. Okay, now they want this to be in phone. So that is a business request. So in that case, you tell them that how it is difficult for you used to actually like explain technical requirements to non-technical people. For example, business owners is like, oh, I have this in online banking, but
Okay.
why it is not possible in mobile banking? What kind of restrictions will we have? So you have to help them understand that online banking is actually a different coding platform. Okay, so let's say
Okay.
you're going to develop with Pega. Okay, Pega can do both mobile with mobile application and web application. It can do both.
Okay.
It can be a
Mm-hmm.
Salesforce also. They can do both. Okay, if you
Okay.
have any at the back end, if let's say that the coding language is something very different. So for online
Mm-hmm.
banking, you have a different coding platform. For mobile banking, because internally it will be two IT teams. It will not be the same.
Yes.
Okay, online banking will
Mm-hmm.
be a different IT team, and
Yes.
mobile banking will be a different IT team.
Different editing.
It
Okay.
will not be same for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so the coding platform, even though like here the images like and everything like features look same, but usually it is handled by two different teams. Okay, so you're going to tell them that we understand your concerns. We have this in online banking. So some of the features, right, only will be available when you like log in web application. Have you seen it? It will not be available in mobile.
Yes.
Some features for some, like
Mm-hmm.
you can see like for Emirates, I think ticket booking, I think you can see that some features will not be available. They ask you to log into through laptop.
Yes.
So certain restrictions will be there, like when it comes to mobile application development, definitely there'll be restrictions. But if it's the same coding platform for both online banking and mobile banking, let's say it is Pega, then usually the features are like same. There is no much difference. But if the coding platform itself is different, let's say online banking is by Java, and then Pega for mobile banking they're using Pega, two different coding platforms, then we are not going to mimic the same. Of course, we will mimic some of the functionalities, but all the
Mm-hmm.
functionalities will not be there.
Okay.
So this you are going to explain it to the business owner, saying that yes, we have that feature in web application, right? But that's by a different team. That coding logic is different, and the screen, like whatever it's like, how our members can view the screen, that is all is going to be different. Whereas in mobile, it's very restricted. Okay, so for example, when you open a mobile, only the certain things you'll be able to see. Certain pages you will not be able to access simultaneously. If they want to submit something, one form at a time. You cannot add multiple forms at a time and submit. Like we have restrictions in mobile. Okay, so these
Okay.
technical, you have to take one use case. For example, let's say Zelle. Okay, when it comes to Zelle, I think money sent and received with Zelle, right?
Or I think
So
we can do international wire transfer. It is only via web application.
correct. If you're sending it through to international overseas, right?
International.
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
So domestic with phone number and email ID, you'll be able to pull
Yes.
Zelle, right? If let's say within US, you're going to send
Within
it.
hmm,
This one you can, irrespective of any bank.
any bank. Yes.
Any bank. So you can be from Wells Fargo, and the person you're sending money can be Bank of America. But with just their phone number and email ID, you will be able to retrieve their like the name and everything, account number details and everything, and you can
Yes.
send money. So that is available in mobile banking. But like I said, international transfers, so
Transfers.
that can
Yes.
be a restriction, and the amount how much you are sending also can be
Yes.
restricted.
Restricted. Yes.
So if it's online banking, maybe you have a certain limit. If it's mobile, it's very limited, because I like I told you, technically at the back end there could be some restrictions, depend upon the coding language.
Coding language. Okay.
Okay, so I'm just,
Okay.
this is an example that I'm saying. So you have to explain whatever project that you have added in your resume. You have to take one use case and you have to tell that okay, this particular technical requirement, it is very like hard for business to understand. This is how I decode it and explain to them. Now they are able to understand. So I'll give another scenario where you are able to like let's say in healthcare, okay, in healthcare project, you are receiving data, some kind of like claims data from another insurance, okay. So
Okay.
patient has two insurance, okay. So patient has
Okay.
two insurance. Let's say this scenario, patient has primary insurance, and then primary is Aetna, and then secondary insurance, that is Cigna. Okay. Now patient has two insurance. Patient is going to a doctor, and doctor is like performing the procedure. They are sending the claim to Aetna because Aetna is the primary insurance, correct? So they are not sending to
Yes.
Cigna because they'll
Mm-hmm.
always send it to the primary only.
Primary. Yes. That's
Once
right.
the claim is processed, Aetna has to send the claim detail to Cigna.
Okay.
So first, let's say the patient is going to a PCP doctor, primary care physician, getting
Mm-hmm.
all the routine blood work and everything, and they have about $2,000 billing. Okay, $2,000 is the billing. Now that claim has to be first submitted to Aetna. Okay, Aetna will
Okay.
process the claim, and they will figure out that $400 Cigna has to pay.
Okay.
The remaining 1,600 Aetna will pay, but 400 Cigna has to pay. So they will
Okay.
process the claim, then they will send that processed claim detail to Cigna because
Cigna.
secondary
Okay.
insurance coverage, co-insurance, it's called as co-insurance.
Co-insurance. Okay.
So that detail, that claim has to be coming to Cigna. So what happens here? Aetna is sending a claim file to Cigna for the same member. So the
Okay.
provider is not sending it. Okay, the doctor is not sending it. Aetna is sending it. Aetna IT team, they are sending a daily file to Cigna.
Cigna. Yes.
Okay, to say that
Mm-hmm.
these are the claims which which has you a secondary insurance. So can you
Okay.
please process all these claims? So that is the use case. Okay.
Okay.
Now business owners will be like, okay, I understand, but how are we going to know whether that claim is already processed or denied? Can you please explain? So we have to say that,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you're working for Cigna. Okay. You have in your resume that you work for Cigna, you're having a healthcare project in your resume, and then you are telling that you work for Cigna for claims team, and you're explaining this particular use case. What you're going to tell them is, yes, we are receiving a daily batch file from Aetna, but we are receiving the claims already processed claim information. That's not a new claim.
Okay.
That's not a brand new claim. Okay. That is
Mm-hmm.
like already processed. Some of the amount has been paid or denied also. Completely denied, saying it is out of network. Everything secondary insurance only has to pay. We can be
Yes.
anything, but it's a already processed claims. What the batch file that we are receiving, right? The zip file with all the claim data. That is a already processed. Where Cigna is a secondary insurance. So this is one use case, right? Transaction or file from, if you're working in claims, you're receiving a claims file, maybe in a zip. So what is the format of a zip file? How many claims can be added in a zip file? Where it will be loaded? What is the naming convention of the zip file? Naming convention in the sense, what's the format? For example, from Aetna to
Mm-hmm.
Cigna, okay, underscore
Okay.
zero
Mm-hmm.
03 underscore 25 underscore 25 today's date.
Okay.
Okay, this
Mm-hmm.
is the means from Aetna to Cigna. Today there
To
was a claim file.
okay.
Dot
This is a
zip.
format.
Dot zip. Okay. Inside
Mm.
this zip file, you will have all the
Mm-hmm.
PDFs, claims,
Okay. PDF file.
and then you will have a metadata file. Metadata file can be a CSV file or a pipe delimited, however you want.
Okay.
What is metadata? Like for example, inside this zip file, I have 10 claims.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
For the
Mm-hmm.
10 PDFs, member name. So I'll tell you the format of that. Okay. Member
Okay.
ID, member name, member first name, member last name, date of birth, place, provider name, first name, like all the metadata for particular
Okay.
claim,
Okay.
like this.
Mm-hmm.
All that needs to be there in the CSV file or the pipe down, however you want. So let's say you are going for like CSV file. So you have to understand there will be one zip file Inside the zip file, you'll have multiple PDFs. That is the claims, scanned claims, right? And then you will have one metadata file. So you will
Okay.
have like under one zip file, right? This is the naming convention of the zip file. This can have from one claim to 1,000 or multiple claims inside the zip file. That is coming from
Okay.
8 to Cigna every day. It's a batch file. Morning 8
Mm-hmm.
a.m. it's coming. Let's say it's coming every day morning 8 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, from 8 to Cigna. And this is the name of the file with the naming. This is the naming convention we are giving. We want to know from 8 to Cigna what's the date it's coming. Inside this, we have 1,000 claims. So that will be
Mm-hmm.
1,000 PDFs will be there. Also for the 1,000 PDFs, we'll have a metadata file. It can be a CSV file where every claim you'll be having, for example, claim 1, what's the member ID? Claim 2, what's the member ID? Claim 3, what's the member ID? All the details of like 1,000 claims.
Okay.
So this zip file is a daily file that's coming from ATA to Cigna. It needs to be dropped in Cigna some folder path. Then from that,
Okay.
from Cigna's IT team will unzip it, will load all the PDFs into our system, will process the CSV file, will load this data into our database.
Okay. And how is it sent to Cigna?
Through SFTP setup.
Okay, SFTP setup. Okay.
Yeah, secure file transfer protocol. They'll drop it. It's an automated one. So the file will be,
Okay.
once they send it here, once they establish that
Mm-hmm.
connection. So once
Mm-hmm.
the file is dropped in 8 some folder, it will automatically pick and will drop in Cigna's folder path.
Okay.
That
Okay.
technical detail and all you have to explain to the business. I mean, see, your team won't do. If you're working for claims, your team won't do that. There'll be a separate team called SFTP setup who will transfer
SFTP.
and
Okay.
yes, correct.
Okay.
Will transfer and they will give you the file.
Okay.
Okay, so if
Mm-hmm.
let's say for in this 1,000 claims, one of the member ID is missing for one PDF. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
in that
Mm-hmm.
1,999 will be processed. That one particular claim will be rejected to 8 saying member
Rejected.
ID is missing.
Okay. Okay.
So that's how you do ACK file. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledgement file is yes, we received all the 1,000. It's loaded. We send an ACK file in 2 hours to 8. Once they send at 8
Okay.
8 a.m., 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Cigna will send an ACK file back
Okay. Okay.
saying that like with all this particular like we have names of all the PDFs, right? So all those was loaded, no issues, everything is success. Or maybe 900 was loaded, 10 was rejected. What is the reject reason? Member ID is missing, invalid member ID, something like that. Please reprocess. Like that, we will send an ACK file back.
Okay.
So this is a very specific technical requirement which
Mm-hmm.
business owners may not know, like how they don't know what is SFTP setup, what is zip file, what is they sometimes ask what is CSV file. Can you show me
Okay.
how a CSV file will be? Can you show me how a pipe demulated file will be? What do you mean by ACT file? Acknowledgement file means what? So like how I explained, you have to explain them like in detail. It can be any file transaction. So you're
Okay.
going to say that. So every day Cigna will receive at 8 a.m. this particular file. This is the format of the file. So how will you find how every day the file will be unique? The date will be different. Today is March 25th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yes.
date will be different. Tomorrow it will be 26th. So that's
26.
how we
Okay.
know every it's a daily file. And inside
Mm-hmm.
that file, we are expecting the claims details as well as the metadata details.
Mm-hmm.
If the
Okay.
metadata is not valid, we reject back to 8 They have to reprocess and send again. So the
Okay.
SLA is 2 hours.
Okay.
Like this, we have to explain the technical requirements.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for this, you need to know the process.
Yes. For the detailed process, we need to know.
If they
Yes.
ask, like, tell me a situation where you explain technical requirements to non-technical people, and then
Mm-hmm.
you have to say, okay, yeah, in my project we had a data flow like this, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to automate this, like sending like claims from other MCOs, other insurance to Cigna. I worked for Cigna as a claims IT team, and we want to
Okay.
automate this process. This is how I explained that use case to the business owners. Like this, you have to
Business
like
owners.
detail them in the interview
Okay.
because this is a technical thing, right? You are from
Yes.
technical IT team, engineers can understand it, but business owners
Mm.
cannot understand how
Yes.
it's coming, why it's coming, how do you validate it, and then daily file means like can they be asking you like, so how many claims we can receive? Is there any limitation in the zip file? How large
Okay.
can be the zip file?
Mm-hmm.
So they can ask you such questions, but I'm just giving you one example how to explain technical requirement to non-technical people.
Okay.
Okay. Then if you don't have experience in
Mm-hmm.
this domain, what will you do? Let's say you don't have any experience in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if they're asking
Okay.
you in your resume, you don't have any experience in healthcare. Like if but ours is a healthcare project. Like how will you manage? Or let's say in your resume you have healthcare and banking, but you submitted to something like utilities company, like electric or
Electric
gas.
utility. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in your resume you don't have that experience, but you submitted somehow your resume got picked up for
Got
utility
picked up.
and gas
A
interview.
BG.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they're asking you, so you don't have any experience in energy sector. So how are you
Yes.
going to convince them? So how you will convince them is you're going to mimic the process. For example, what does
Okay.
utilities company do? So what kind of features they
Mhm.
may have? Utility companies may have their online portal where
Online
member
portal.
can
Yes.
log in and submit, and then they can pay their bills and all that. Okay, that
Mm.
can be one team, or they can have mobile applications, or
Yes.
they can have, like for example, enrollment. Right, if I'm a new
Enrollment.
member,
Yes.
I'm creating, I'm going to a new house, I want my electricity and gas, I need a new connection, so enrollment, new
Mm-hmm.
enrollment. So you have to
Okay.
understand before you go to the interview, if this is an
Okay.
energy company, what are the different
Mm-hmm.
IT teams possibly they can have.
Okay.
So they can have enrollment, they can have online web application management, they can have mobile
Mm.
application management, or in the back
Mm.
end, maybe they can have content management. The content management means like I'm submitting something, my proof and all that needs to be stored in a certain like repository.
Okay.
So like in order for me to have a new connection, what are the details I have to give? I have to give my SSN details,
Okay.
my
Okay.
IDs
Yes.
and everything, right? That needs to be stored somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that can be there. Mostly it will be like managing from members' information. So member has to log in, pay their utility bills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or we are sending letter to them. Like for example, if they're opt out, then okay, we don't send it. If they're opt in for like a monthly reminder,
Yes. Mostly we get it by mail, through mail.
correct. So like $15, $45. This is a due date. You can also like pay by this by check. Please send the
Check.
check to
Yes.
this particular address. So that automation, if you want to do, because not everyone will be using portal, member portal.
Portal. Yes.
Some also wants to use like check and all, right, process by
Yes.
manually they want to do. So it can, these are the possibilities from energy sector.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're like for example they have their own like buildings, like usually this energy and gas, they have their own, right, buildings and all.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe for internal employees, like timesheet management, or it can be like someone is to have to log in and log out completely, like how many hours they worked, or them reporting to their, like it, all those IT applications they are managed internally, like Workday. Have you heard of Workday?
Yes. I have. Yes. I have heard about that.
So like entire, like for example, let's take an example of Atlanta, I guess I will show you.
Workday. I think it is mostly used in human resources.
Mm. Yeah, but that can be an IT team.
IDT. Okay.
You may be, see, it is used by human resources, but there'll be a IT team for that. Let's say
Okay.
Atlanta gas. Okay, so this, if you are getting interview for business analyst for Atlanta gas, what is the possibility, how are you going to convince them? You don't have any experience in energy
Mm-hmm.
sectors, utilities.
Okay.
Okay, but you got picked up for this particular resume, for your resume. How are you going to tell them, like, yes, you can do it? So, how, see, for example, what are the functionalities they have? So, residential, business. Under residential, you can start a service, stop a service, and you can read your meter. You can, like, say,
Mm-hmm.
fraud production, and then there are multiple like functionalities a member can do, right? They can also
Okay.
report, for example, suddenly like the electricity is gone, they can also report it online saying that in my area nothing is working, can you please take a look at it? They can submit a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
then business, if from business means like you're having like very big shopping, like say you have your own
Mm-hmm.
business, so for that you need business related equipments, or you are
Equipment.
having
Yes.
separate, yeah, separate all that. So this is like, this is online web application,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you, this can be a possibility. So you need to like research on
Research.
basics of that before you attend the interview. Okay, not
Mm-hmm.
before you attend the interview, you need to know if gas and energy means what's the possibility.
Okay.
And then whether they are only in Atlanta or they're in other states too, or like how
Mm-hmm.
long they have been there in this industry, like what are the why they are very famous, what kind of like a rewards program they have, so how to like how easy it is to get a gas connection. So all that you have to like research about that particular domain. Even you don't have a single experience about the domain, you need to like, because you have to convince the interviewer, right? You don't have that
Yes.
domain knowledge, but you have only
Yes.
banking and healthcare, you don't have energy sector knowledge. But how you're going to say is yes, what you say is correct. So you can ask them like, do you know like which team you're hiring for, like that you can ask. And then
Okay.
they can say, yeah, this particular position is only for web application. Then you can just say the same thing, yeah, even I worked for web application in my healthcare and in my banking, these
Okay.
are the features that we did. I think you're looking for the same features, like that you're going to like somehow like not 100% match, but at least 75% you have to match to the requirement. So domain specific in the sense, you have to research about the domain that's there, but exactly what application that they're hiring, like which team they're going to hire, you're going to say that you have some experience in that particular team. Let's say if it
Okay.
is going to be online web application, yes, in healthcare you have dealt about online web application. So let's say that they want someone very specific to gas mobile application, you can say that,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in healthcare I also worked in mobile application. So you have to match that,
Okay. Okay.
not domain but the application perspective, IT
Application
perspective.
perspective. Yes.
Like from let's say member, what their expectation is, members like experience, right? So member can
Mm-hmm.
start a service, stop a service, member can submit request, member can pay their bills. So same functionality you will have in mobile banking.
Okay.
Member
Yes.
can submit the yeah.
We just have to relate with their technical requirements.
Yes, correct. So for that you have to ask them question, do you know like which
Mm-hmm.
team you're hiring for, you're specifically, are you hiring for any particular application, like that.
Okay.
You can ask that question accordingly. Once they give, definitely they will give you some clue. Okay,
Okay.
from that you have to
Mm-hmm.
manage and say, otherwise they will think that okay, you have no idea about energy sector, then I have
Mm-hmm.
to train you. If even if I hire you, I have to train you. So I prefer a
Training.
person
Okay.
who has already have that experience.
Experience. Yes.
So that's how you're going to manage. So if if you don't have any experience in that particular domain, please
Mm-hmm.
ask the interviewer about the exact IT team that they're hiring for, what application they're hiring for, and
Okay.
um, accordingly you have to match with your existing experience and answer.
Okay.
Okay, let's say you are a fresher. Okay, you don't have any domain experience. So what you do, you're just going to
Mm-hmm.
say them that, yeah, I have research
Mm-hmm.
about this particular domain. These you have to impress them. Okay, so Atlanta
Okay.
Gas
Yes.
is there, been there for like very long time, and then they are the premier leading company in state of Georgia. They are all these features. So you're going to explain them. So you have zero experience, but you're just telling
Mm-hmm.
about their company.
Okay.
So it means you're telling them that I've done enough research about your
Enough
company. I've
research. Yes.
already learned so much. So given a
Mm-hmm.
chance, I will learn even more. I'm a very fast learner. So I can
Okay.
definitely learn this domain in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Okay, that's how you can say. If you have zero experience in any domain.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing is, before you actually get the interview, actually get the final client around, you have to
Mm-hmm.
definitely like research and learn about that particular domain.
That
And
particular. Yeah.
yes, it can be e-commerce, it can be anything like energy sectors, because they are very unique domains, right? So
Yes. Yes.
not everybody will have experience. Healthcare, banking, and
Mm-hmm.
all, of course, some people may have experience, but this energy
Mm-hmm.
sector, e-commerce, and all very specific.
Yes.
Mm.
E-commerce. Yes. Supply chain.
Supply chain, yes. So these are not very specific. So you have to do your research, and only then you have to attend the interview. Please do not say that I don't have no idea about your company, but somehow my resume got picked up. That's why I'm here. Like, don't tell that, because then they don't, are not interested. So the interviewer is looking for that curiosity in you. Okay, this person
Okay.
is like very curious, very interested, is really serious about getting this job. He has done his side of research. Whatever he
Mm-hmm.
knows, he is able to convey to me. So
Okay.
that's a good quality. Maximum you can do
Yes.
only that much.
Yes.
Okay. Then it comes to as a business analyst, how do you prepare when it comes to elucidation? When you're going to gather requirements, so
Mm-hmm.
how do you prepare? So Sayed, do you know like how to prepare before an elucidation call?
Do the research about stakeholders
Mm,
and do some research about what is the project about and what is it going to solve.
okay. So you're going to identify the problem, right?
Yeah, identify the problem. Yes,
Okay. And then,
identify the stakeholders, identify the problem,
mm, mm,
and think get to know about the company, about the client,
okay. Research on the
research.
line
Yes,
of business.
line of business.
Hmm. Okay. Then if there are any existing documentation, you're going to do document
Yes,
analysis.
yeah. Is it a new project or it is an enhancement project?
Mm, okay. Very good. Then,
And this is what I'm able to recall as of now.
yeah, good. Yeah, these
Yeah.
are very important. First, you identify the stakeholders. Like I said, you can
Yeah.
get these details from the project manager.
Project manager, yes.
Okay. And then you're going to understand who will be the primary
Primary
stakeholder who
stakeholder
can provide the sign off.
kind of.
And then once you identify the stakeholders, now you're going to research on the line of business. Okay. So
Mm.
what exactly line of business are there, for example, in healthcare? So are there from Medicare side or Medicaid side or from commercial side? First, so if it's banking, you can say that whether they are like very specific to, like, for example, domestic transfer or international transfer, or they're from, they want something from member portal, or they want something from mobile application. So what line of business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that you need to understand. And then identifying the problem, yes, to some extent, maybe what is as is currently, as is and to be versus to be. So
As
currently,
is and to
what
be
problem? Yeah, currently as is means currently what is
current
happening.
state. Yes.
Yeah, current state, what is happening, and what they want us to do in future by implementing this
To be
project, right? What, yeah, what exactly they want us to do in future. So for that, you need to understand current state.
current state.
So current state in the sense, sometimes like we don't have so many people to tell what is currently happening. So I mean, before the elicitation, during the elicitation calls, business owners can tell you, but before the elicitation
Mm.
call, sometimes you don't know. If it is already an existing project, you can have details in Confluence page.
Okay.
So if let's say it's an existing project already,
Mm.
there is something going on. We
Yeah.
did this live a couple of years ago, but everybody got laid off. So no, we have no people, like everybody who worked on that
Okay.
project is not there in the
Mm-hmm.
company. But still, you will have that
Okay.
Confluence page.
Yes.
So the
Mm-hmm.
Confluence page will have a data flow diagram.
All the documentation for the
Correct. It will have the
application.
BRD, and you will have some data about existing like file transfers, what is happening, what is the process. So, and also you can actually go to the production environment and actually query also.
Okay.
You can go to, for example, it's an existing process. What you
Mm-hmm.
do, you go to production, you can query
Okay.
and then figure out like exact what is happening today. Are we receiving any files today for this process?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, and you can like research on that. Then
Okay.
finally, like document analysis, like a Confluence page, or you can have other
Mm-hmm.
documents too. So maybe your managers can have it, or other BS can have it, your engineers can have it. So you do all this research, and then you go to that very first call, you schedule the call. So please schedule the
And get
call.
after doing the research, right? And get the business rules from the stakeholders.
Yeah. So in the very first call, you're going to impress them saying that, hi, I'm Syed. I'm from this particular, I'm representing from this particular team. I'm a senior BA. Now, as far as I know, I gathered all this data from my manager and from my existing Scrum team. Can you please tell me, like first you will start about the ASIS process only. So
Okay.
first, I just want to confirm this is what I got from my research, but I want to confirm whether this is the current state. Can you please
Okay.
someone confirm? Means you're telling the business owners that you have done your side of research. You know something about the existing
Yes, like a
features.
high level.
Yeah,
high
high
level
level,
about
you
the
know about it. So, and then you're just asking confirmation. So from there, you can take the conversation.
okay.
Okay, so that's how you have to be prepared. So preparation means you have to like these are the keywords you're going to tell in the interview. So first I will
Okay.
identify the stakeholders, then identify the problem, current state, and then it definitely like since it is agile, I will have my conference page. So for the current existing project, I'll have data flow diagrams, PRD. So I will research on that. Then also if there is any other documentation, I'll get from my project owner. So this is for existing, correct? But what if it's a new project?
Okay.
It's a brand new project, then what do you do?
I
Nothing.
believe the project manager will be able to give a high level idea about the new application
Mm. So if
and
it
the
is
client.
a if it's like completely brand new, okay,
Mm-hmm.
or let's say if it's going to be migration project, so you're migrating from one platform to another platform.
Okay. Yeah.
So migration, it's easy, existing like whatever is happening, and then you're going to migrate
Mm-hmm.
to a new platform. So migration will not be very tough. But
Okay.
let's say you are having a project where everything you're going to do with like brand new product. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
in that case, we will have a lot of work to do. So
A
because they
lot of
also,
scenarios.
yeah, they don't know what they want also. They only have high
Oh,
level, like maybe one line statements. They may be like, I want this product. I
okay.
want only this. So I'm just giving you an example. If a restaurant is there, okay, currently they don't have any website, nothing. Okay, that is a restaurant. Now they're outsourcing to an IT team and you are the lead BA. So when you ask
Okay.
them what do you have current functionality, nothing.
Nothing.
I have only a physical store. That's it. So
Mm.
this will be like my brand new like website that I'm going to have for my store or restaurant, whatever it is. So in that case, you have to give multiple like just to get the requirements itself because they have no idea, right? No clue how their website should look, what are the features they need to have, what are the keywords it needs to have, what kind of
Yes.
functionality. For example, can someone place an order for takeout in online itself, or is just only the display of the menu? Can we track the status of the order in online? Can they pay through online? Or it's only like they have to like only details about the menus there, they have to like call the store and then place the order, like what kind of functionality they want. So if they want a very plain website, only like for example menu, these are the items we have, contact number details, so for all the orders please call this particular number, that's a very simple page. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say that they can add items and then place an order, and then they get a notification in their phone number and they can track it, they can pick it up. For example, your order will be ready in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We give them a timeline. So that and all is like extensive requirements.
Okay.
So you when you develop from something from scratch, and then when you develop a product from scratch,
Mm-hmm.
then like it's like everything is hypothetical imagination.
Imagination. Yes.
Yeah, that's where wireframe comes into play.
Okay.
So when you're doing everything from scratch, you don't know, and the business owners also don't know. You use this tool, Balsamic,
Balsamic. Yes.
and then show it in pictures to them. So you want like this. This is how you want. You want the icon to be here. You want the icon to be here. You want login function to be here. This is the image
Mm-hmm.
to be here. Like that. You show the wireframes. From their pictures, they will choose. So especially for like from scratch, if you're doing, it will
Mm.
take at least for you 2 weeks to just get the basic high level requirements,
Okay.
because you're constantly talk because stakeholders also don't know what they want.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, it's like building
Mm-hmm.
a house, they don't know what house they want. They're
Mm.
saying I want a house, I want a house. But then now you have to tell me, okay, you want a house, whether it's north facing or south facing or east facing or west facing. Okay, now yes, north facing. Okay, good, tick, that's
We
done.
have to keep providing them with demos, and then they
Demos,
will find
and
a
every single requirement has to be a question.
question. Okay.
So like building a house, if that is a project, I'm just saying, okay,
Mm.
first
Mm.
is which way the house needs to be facing. Okay, now the
Okay.
client is it should be north facing. Okay, tick that checkbox. That's it.
Yes.
Then okay, then like how many garage you want? I want two garages. Okay, checkbox. Like this, every like single line requirement, you're going to check the boxes. Then final
Okay.
output, you draw the diagram and show it. From then they'll get a high level idea. Okay, this is what. No, we'll make changes. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. Then you change it. So if you're building from scratch, or if you're doing an IT product from scratch,
Mm-hmm.
just to like get a basic scratch version of the BRD, it will take multiple elucidation session.
Okay.
So it's not
And
that
the technical aspect, we have to decide the tools and all, right? Which tools we are going to use to build
based
this
upon their
application.
requirement. Correct. They have no clue,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
based upon our availability, what is in our scope within our team, whether how much our engineers can support,
Resources. Yeah.
what tools we have, based upon that only we can say whether this can be done or not. They
Okay.
don't know whether this can be done or not.
Okay.
They may ask a feature which totally out of scope also.
Out of scope, yes.
So you're going to tell like these are the things we have very limited uh,
Resources and
resources. What? Okay. So customer can chat
okay.
and then they can place order, which you may not
Mm-hmm.
even cannot do it.
Yeah.
So you're going to say, yeah, you understand your concerns, but from our coding platform, we cannot even like add those options, AI options,
Okay.
and all.
AI options. Yeah.
We cannot add that. Like that limitation, whatever limitations you have to inform them.
Okay.
Okay. So that's how you're going to prepare before the
Mm-hmm.
elucidation session.
Okay.
Then tell me a scenario where you suggested something and the stakeholders didn't agree. So, like for example, I'll give you a real time scenario. So when it comes to healthcare, people
Mm-hmm.
want like let me give you a scenario. In healthcare, right? We have something called TOC files. Okay,
Okay.
transition of care files.
Transition of care.
Mm, transition of care files. So this is very specific to like government projects. Okay, so if I am a Medicaid member.
Mm-hmm.
Medicaid. Okay. So, for example, I am in North Carolina state. Okay. So I'm just telling for example. So I'm from North Carolina and I'm eligible for Medicaid. And you know like how Medicaid stuff works. Medicaid means they have only annual contract. Okay. So
Okay.
North Carolina
Okay.
state may have a contract with Cigna for this particular year. Next year they can have a contract with Aetna.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's annually they'll bid and get the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Insurance companies will bid with the
But
state.
okay.
Whoever like goes for lower price and the state will give.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I can be Medicaid but for this year I am with Aetna. If the state changes the insurance, then my next year I'll be a Cigna's member. See, Medicaid means it's a state insurance, correct?
State insurance, yes.
So okay, I'm very low. I'm in poverty. I'm a citizen of residents of North Carolina. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
poverty. I'm eligible for Medicaid. They're giving me the Medicaid insurance. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but the state's Medicaid insurance state doesn't have any public insurance. They have to pick up only from private insurances.
Private insurance, yes, that's
Okay,
right.
so let's say
Yes.
that this year Aetna won the bidding. So for this year, if I am Medicaid member, my insurance will be Aetna.
Okay.
So if the state insurance changes next year, for me also the insurance will change.
Okay.
So see, state will decide for every year what will be their insurance. Accordingly, members'
Mm-hmm.
insurance will be changing. If you're going for Medicaid,
Okay.
I think you're not getting. Okay, let me tell you in detail. See, which state are you now?
Maryland.
Maryland. Okay. So let's say in Maryland, you are qualified for Medicaid. Okay. You go to SSN
Mm-hmm.
office, you're submitting Medicaid application. They say, yes, Syed is having low income. And now they approved
Mm-hmm.
your Medicaid application. Okay. They are going
Okay.
to
Yeah.
tell that they'll give you a Medicaid ID.
Medical ID, yes.
ID. Okay. So all your claims, if even if you go to private hospital, it
Mm.
needs to go to the state, right?
State. Okay, yes.
State. Okay. State doesn't have any insurance. They pick up from private insurance only.
Private insurance companies, yes.
Okay, so there,
Yes.
let's say there are four insurances. They are bidding. Today,
Mm.
Aetna won for this year, 2025, Aetna won. So for
Mm.
Maryland, current insurance is Aetna.
Aetna,
So
yes.
all your claims will be sent to Aetna.
Aetna.
Aetna will process it and they will get money
Okay.
from the government.
Okay.
They won't send it to you because you're
Okay.
Medicaid
Yes.
member, right?
Yes. Yes. That's right.
So
Yes.
you are not supposed to pay anything. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Aetna will process and pay to the doctor, but Aetna
Mm-hmm.
will get money from the government
Okay. Got it
because
now.
you are a Medicaid member. You're
Medicaid
low
member. Yes.
income, so there are no
Low
point in
income. Yes.
sending you that.
Yes. They will send it to the
Yeah,
government.
so
Yes.
you're
State
eligible.
government.
See, government is, the state is saying that, yeah, he's low poverty income guy. Let me pay the
Mm-hmm.
claim. Job.
Claim.
That's
Yes.
how. For that is for this year
Yes.
only. For next
This year.
year, yeah, next year, let's say in the bidding, Aetna lost and Cigna has the state insurance. Now,
Yes.
where will your claims go?
Cigna.
To Cigna. Correct? You
Yes.
got the logic
Yes.
now.
Yes. I
So
got
when
it.
the members are transitioning from one insurance, for example, in 2025 it's Aetna, but in
Mm-hmm.
2026 is Cigna.
Cigna.
Cigna
Mm-hmm.
wants all your previous healthcare records
Okay. Okay.
because they want to continue the
Mm-hmm.
benefit.
Yes. Yes.
They want to know last year what did you do, how many claims you submitted with
Claims.
Aetna,
Yes.
like that. So that
Yes.
file is called transition of care file.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So means for this particular member, for last one
Mm-hmm.
year, these are the healthcare records.
Healthcare records. Yes.
So this file, for example, if Cigna continues having the contract for next 3-4 years, then no problem.
Mm.
But again,
Okay.
if let's say United Health Group gets a contract, now
Mm-hmm.
like for all the 4 years, they have to send a transition of care files to United Health Group. Cigna has to
United.
send it to United Health Group.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this is an annual file, one-time file.
One time file. Yes.
File. When state changes their insurance
Mm-hmm.
annually, like maybe in December or January, they will change. Okay, if there's a
Yes.
one insurance loses their contract, and when they choose another insurance, now the state requirement is every member for that particular state, the current
Mm-hmm.
insurance has to send the TOC file to the new insurance,
Okay.
just because to get the history of the patient.
Yes.
Correct.
So
Otherwise,
based
they
on
will
the
not.
history, they will charge the premium, I believe, to the government.
Yeah, based upon the history also, in order to see, for example, they have their authorization dental checkup done, they have
Yes.
authorization for dental removal, I mean like one teeth removal, that needs to be
Mm-hmm.
carried forward to the new insurance.
No insurance.
The
Yes.
patient cannot wait because the government is changing contract.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They just want that seamless like care to be continued.
Continue. Yeah.
You got it. So this is a state
Mm-hmm.
requirement, which is a mandate requirement. This has to be done within 30 days of transition.
Okay. So
Okay,
this
within
is
30 days,
transition
yes.
of
So
care.
January 1st to January 31st, like all the TOC files has to go. If they lose a contract,
Okay.
it has to go. So
It
that
has to
is a
go. Yeah.
requirement. Yeah, if that is a requirement. Now I'm just telling you, if that is a requirement, now stakeholders are saying that the why do you need all the details? Okay, you just claims details should be fine. Why do you need all the documents? That will
Mm-hmm.
be a large file. We cannot receive it. We cannot load it. Now,
Okay.
stakeholders disagree actually. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
you are telling that no, we want all the files to be
Okay.
sent or to be received, because otherwise internal to our system, internal to our internal ID systems, claims
Mm-hmm.
people won't have enough information, authorization team won't have enough information,
Enough information.
case
Yes.
management team won't have enough information.
Yes.
So I know this is a pretty large file, I got it, it will take time to send it, but if you don't receive all the information in this file, okay, we only if you're receiving
Mm-hmm.
bits and pieces, then we
Mm-hmm.
cannot give proper care.
Yes.
Okay, so this is, I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
you a real time scenario that happened actually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stakeholders are like, why do you need it? Okay, so they are like, see, you're already having integration with other insurance, you should be able
Yes.
to pull it, right? Like, why do you want, they don't understand in the back and how IT teams work.
Okay.
We don't have all the data unless someone sends us the data. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
all the data. It's against
All the
HIPAA
data.
violation.
Yes.
Yeah, we cannot go and get a particular member healthcare record from another insurance for a member without any like consent.
Consent. Yes. That's right.
Okay, so we need every single detail in this file.
Yes. Understood.
Okay,
That
so
is a HIPAA violation. Okay.
HIPAA violation. So, like I'm just saying, you have to, it depends upon whichever project that you are, you're going to give them that why I want this, why stakeholders they didn't agree, and why you
Mm-hmm.
suggested. Now you tell you are not deciding for them, you are telling the pros and cons.
Okay.
Okay, so pros is like if we receive all the data internally, our team, everybody will have information. If you receive only bits and pieces internally, like our people will not have information. Again, they have to go back to other insurances, and again, like it will be back and forth. You're going to like call
Mm-hmm.
them. Case management will have a very tough time
Okay.
just to, because they don't have in our database
Yes.
their healthcare previous record. Patient will be like, see, you know what, Aetna has everything. Why don't you receive it from them?
Mm-hmm.
Patient doesn't have everything in paper also, no, in hand. They think
Yes.
like from one system to another system, it automatically gets transferred.
Automatically gets transferred. Yes.
Patient is like, yeah, no, but last year I had Cigna. The state changed now. You should be able to get it. Why are you asking me? Like, a patient
Okay.
will not have everything paper copy also.
Okay. Okay.
So you just tell the pros and cons. Why I need like everything to be given, because otherwise it's very difficult to manage. Internal our teams there will be problem. So it's up to them. If they think like it's not necessary, it's up to them. But you can say, I'm just giving an example how to tell them in the
Mm-hmm.
interview.
Okay. Okay.
So something that you suggested, but you are not like demanding that you have to do this. You suggested something and you tell the pros and cons. Okay, this is the feature that
Okay.
I'm suggesting as a BA. From my
Mm-hmm.
experience, I just think this will be a better option. But I'm just telling
Okay.
you these are the pros, these are the cons. If you do this, these are the pros. If you don't do this, these are the cons.
Okay.
Are you ready? And let them decide. You're not deciding for
Mm-hmm.
the business owners,
Okay.
because you know the process very well. You're just telling them, from my experience, this is what I know. I'm just telling you. If you don't take it, that's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like that, you have to tell them a scenario, and then like
Scenario.
technical ones.
Only technical ones. Yes.
Technical ones. Don't tell that I don't, I told like not to have this member in the team like that, and not not like that. You're not supposed to answer like that. Always suggest it from feature perspective.
Yes, we can also say that due to change of requirement from the stakeholders, there was a budget increase, or resource we need increase of resources,
Mm,
which resulted in more funding.
yes, correct. That and all you can say, correct. Additional, like
Mhm.
constantly changing in requirements, increased on all
Okay.
this, like that you can say.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, somehow, like always a scenario
Then
based
we
you're going
have to scenario based. Then we have to give a proper explanation to the stakeholders
to.
why we might need these additional resources to deliver the project on time.
Correct. That and all you can say. So first they didn't agree, then you tell like why do you want it, then they agree.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So you up to this you got right, Sayed?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it
Yes, ma'am.
helpful or
Very helpful.
very
Very
helpful?
helpful. Yeah. This is like domain specific, like getting good knowledge on specific domain.
Mm. So like same thing you're going to mimic for banking also.
Banking. Okay.
Yeah, if you're going to add it. So this is like, tell me a scenario where you suggested something for a stakeholder doesn't agree. This means for experienced people. This is not for freshers.
Precious. Okay.
Okay, this is like you already have experience and they're asking you a question, you can answer. For freshers, you don't have any experience, right? So maybe you have to tell from your college some scenario where you suggested something in a project and they didn't agree, something like that. Like if
So
you're
in every project, there will be a lead BA, right? Who will be working together with other BAs
yes,
on the
there'll be
same
definitely
requirement.
one senior BA together and requirements and guide you.
Okay. Got it now.
If you're like going to a startup company and all,
Mm-hmm.
then there'll be nobody to guide. I'm talking about
Nobody to
MNCs,
them. Okay.
service based, very big clients, Fortune founded
Mm-hmm.
companies. Yes, they will have a lead BA in
They
every
will have
project.
a lead BA. Okay.
Okay,
In a startup, everything we have to figure it out.
correct. In startup, you are the lead BA.
Yeah, this is where startups only hire experienced people,
Correct.
experienced
Otherwise, you are
candidates.
going to like, and see, in startup, the problem is constantly you'll be monitored by them.
Yes, yes, that's
You
right.
cannot escape. If it's very big company, you can at least escape. But in
Escape,
startups, you
yes.
cannot escape. They're going to monitor you.
Yes, high pressure
Correct.
environment.
High pressure. Correct. Okay. I think we are good for
Okay,
today. Tomorrow,
okay.
I will. We can go with how to answer behavioral questions.
Questions. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, Sayed.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
see
you,
you
ma'am.
tomorrow.
Have a
Thank
good
you. Bye.
one.
See
Thank
you
you.
too.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, Sayed. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Pradeepa, ma'am. How are you?
Yeah, great. So today we are going to like learn about behavioral questions. Okay, so
Okay.
most of the behavioral questions, what they are going to ask you is, tell me a scenario where you had conflict with the stakeholders, how did you resolve it? Okay, tell
Okay.
me your strength and weakness.
Okay.
Strength and weakness. How do you um, resolve conflicts when requirements are changed constantly? How do you have a smooth UAT? How do you handle fraud defects? So some of the behavioral questions. So they want to know like your behavior during any kind of like stressful environment, right? During those times, what will you do?
Mm-hmm.
So as a BA, we will have all this stressful environment. First of all, during gathering requirement phase itself, there is like a high possibility like we get stressed because we know that
Mm-hmm.
stakeholder is talking the same things again and again and again, but not giving you perfect requirements.
Okay.
Okay, so what they will do in some cases, they will join the call because
Mm-hmm.
they will have only limited information, high level information. So when you ask specific details, they will be unable to answer.
Okay.
So let me give you an example. Like let's take that Wells Fargo. Okay, let's say it's Wells Fargo. Now this is their member portal, right?
Yes.
So you're asking like the business owners that okay, we have something called member can log in, single sign on. They can log in, they can use the username and password, and they can submit any of the applications. But now business is coming that and telling you that okay, there is something for certain group that we have to restrict certain forms because there could be surveys and all. Let's say they want to handle a survey, member can
Mm-hmm.
log in and submit a survey. Now,
Okay.
business owners are saying that we have to restrict that survey for California market.
Okay.
When
Okay.
California members log in, they should be
Mm-hmm.
they should not see that form. We have a new
Okay.
request from California government that that surveys should not be in online portal. It needs to be from a case management person or someone from customer care can take it, but members should not submit it on their own.
Okay.
So that's a requirement. Okay. Now they're giving you high level requirement. They're saying, okay, when members sign in, yes, I'm able to see. They are not able to see. I understand that. But they will not tell you like, is it for all California members or you have like specific eligibility criteria?
Okay. Okay.
So if they ask you, if you are asking them, I understand, but California, you're just saying that very generically California members. But are you like targeting a specific audience? Or you are asking for example membership they needs to have certain credit card or they needs to be having platinum credit card, they need to have gold credit card, they need to have silver credit card. Which group are you restricting? Because in the
Okay.
back end in the databases, right, mostly
Mm-hmm.
every member will be tied to a group.
Okay.
Okay, when you store members information, it will be
Mm-hmm.
tied to a certain category
Okay.
or a
Okay.
group. So how our engineers will be making sure when we want to showcase any surveys, usually they will be
Mm-hmm.
adding those group IDs only.
Oh, okay.
So for this group, because otherwise it will be generic, anybody can see
Generic.
any form.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
if I
Yes.
log in Texas market, I'm under particular group ID, that form needs to be there. If I'm a California member, if I log in that, so otherwise how will the engineers restrict the access? It's a common form. So you're asking a
Okay.
question like, okay, now you're asking me to restrict for California members. When they sign in, they're not able to, they should not see a particular form. I get that. But is it for all California members or only certain group IDs?
Okay.
That's your question, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
answering. Okay, they don't know. They also
They too
don't know.
don't know.
They
Okay.
have only like state requirement, one-liners. So
Okay.
you schedule a couple of couple of calls, then you understand that they're talking the same thing again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, IT team cannot have a call with state directly. Our
Okay.
IT team, right? So, for example, you
Yes.
as a BA, you cannot have a
Mm-hmm.
call with state.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, only business owners can talk with them.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, business owners only can have a call with the state. They can gather requirements, and then they just
Okay.
they transform that requirements to you. Okay, so you are asking, okay, is it only for all members? Are you sure it's for all the members? Because once I disable, none of them will be able to see it. Okay, are
Yes.
you okay? But they are like, I don't know. And then they tell like, okay, all members. Then you start. Okay, when you start development, when you are doing testing, in that phase they come and tell you that no, Syed, now we got clarity from state. It's only to certain group ID. These are the group IDs. Okay,
Okay.
so in the middle of the development, they give you a new requirement. That too, eligibility requirement. During in testing, the code
Hmm.
is already in QA. Okay, now they are coming and telling that now please no, don't disable for all the members. Now state confirmed it's only for certain group.
Okay.
Okay, so like
Yes.
that, if they tell you,
Mm-hmm.
how will you handle it?
Okay. Then we have to set up a call with the IT team, and then we have to ask them to do all uh, do the coding all over again, right?
So
Do the
for you, it's
changes in the
double work
coding.
actually. From
Double
your
work, yes.
side, it's double work.
Create a new function technical requirement document
Again, yes. Again, you
again.
are going to go through the process. Same. Again, you write all user stories accordingly. Again, the coder has to develop. Again, you have to move the code to
New
QA.
version of the BRD.
Everything will be new because the basic eligibility criteria itself is different now.
Different, yes,
Different now,
definitely.
code changes will happen. So
Yes.
see, first of all, like they're scheduling a call. Okay, first thing is you don't panic. What
Okay.
you have to be, because generally you'll be like, this is what I'm asking like for 3 months,
Yes.
and you didn't give me that requirement, and now you already signed off the BRD. You already like confirmed that every all the members needs to have that functionality. Now our code is already in QA region. We are almost at the end of UAT. Now you're coming and telling me do it again. And see, they will tell.
Now,
Yeah.
now the
So
developers are mad at us.
yeah, no, developer will be literally shouting.
Yes.
What do you think? Like we have completed all the development. Now you want to do it again. So this is a very stressful call because you don't want to show your emotions. You cannot tell
Yes.
them that this is what I've been telling for 3 months. So you cannot scream at them, right?
Yes. We cannot. Yes.
Yeah, and you tell your developer also to keep quiet because he'll
Yes.
be more agitated than you
Yes.
now. He's like, what do you think? What do you think? I have been creating all this code for almost like 3 sprints now. Now you come and tell me like you changed the code. So that call with the stakeholders, you as your
Mm-hmm.
Scrum team is having a big conflict with the stakeholders.
Okay.
So if they ask you in the interview, do you have a scenario? You can tell like the scenarios where the
Yes.
requirement.
Okay.
So here the root causes, this is unconfirmed, or you can say not clear requirements.
Okay. Unclear
Okay.
requirement.
Unclear
Yes.
requirements. Yeah. The root
Okay.
causes
Root cause is
unclear,
unclear requirement.
unclear requirements, right? So
Okay. Yes.
unclear requirements in the sense that's not your problem. You ask them multiple times. They are unable to tell. You cannot have a call with the state engineers. That's not the protocol. The protocol is only business owners can get requirements from the state, right?
State.
And
Yes.
state is
Yes.
giving you a document. That's a very generic document. You go through it again and again and again with the business owners. There's only one line there. It says like members from California should not access the certain form. That's the only line statement it's given there. So based, you just assume. This is where I'm telling, do
Mm-hmm.
not assume requirements.
Okay.
Okay, as a BA, we should never assume things.
Assume. Yes.
So we cannot say all members. Is there a word all members, or it just say that only members from certain group ID? So now we have a conflict. What can we do? So first, as a BA, first quality is you being very cool and composed, you tell the stakeholder that, okay, I got your point. Now you're saying only certain group ID. Do you have document for that from the state?
Okay.
Okay, first ask for evidence,
Okay.
proof.
Proof.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, now you say requirement is changed, right? Can you have that
Mhm.
state? Because state will usually give a document. Okay.
Okay.
Can you give me
Okay.
the document? You go through, review the document again and again. Then you once, okay, now it's very clear. They want only this following group ID needs to view the, or should not view the assessment. Okay, we got it. Now what you can say that this will come under change request. This is a brand new functionality that we are going to build. So this will be a different LOE and different timeline. So the budget will change as well as
The
level of effort.
timeline.
Yes. LOE is level of effort.
Okay. Level of
Timeline.
mm,
Timelines also will change because this is a new request.
new
It's a,
request.
again, it's a new build for our Scrum team.
Okay.
Okay. So we cannot guarantee you this will be done in one sprint. We cannot guarantee that this will be completed in like 2 sprints. No guarantee. So what I can do is I'm just
Okay.
taking a request and I have to huddle with my Scrum team, my engineers. I have to
Mm-hmm.
discuss with my project owner and
Okay.
project manager,
Mm-hmm.
and then only like I can give you the like first of all LOE. Definitely there'll be a new LOE. LOE means money budget.
Money budget. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
level of effort means money.
Money. Okay.
Mm,
Level of effort is money.
yes. So when we say level, when I say LOE, level of effort means it's money.
Money. Okay.
Mm, effort. Okay. So timelines and all will change. So I will discuss with my engineers and get back. And then once you discuss with your engineers, they are saying that this is going to take another 2 sprints. We are going to add additionally maybe another $50,000, and then they're telling that if you approve all this, then we can go ahead. So you're going to send that through an email and then say that for the above change request, we need to have additional $50,000 funding, and then the timeline it will take another 2 more sprints. Then maybe like for now it's March 26th. We can go only May 30th. Like that, you're giving a timeline.
Okay. So we
Okay,
are submitting a new BRD, right?
correct. Updated version.
Updated version of BRD. Okay.
Mm. Again, so once only if that is approved, then you're going to start the development.
Okay.
Okay, so let's
Okay.
say
Got.
that in between this conversation, it's a stakeholder is angry,
Mm-hmm.
getting angry. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then they're like, why do you need $50,000 for this change? It's such a small change. You're just going to add group IDs.
Okay.
So why do you want to change it? So they will ask you. They will ask us, you're going to add only
Okay.
group IDs, right? Why do just this following like 3 for group IDs just to add that? Why do you need $50,000?
Mm-hmm.
They may ask you. So that's when like again you're going to say that it's not as simple. Okay, the code, the developer has to like basically the eligibility criteria itself, he needs to make the code changes. Then he needs to move that to QA. Again, testers have to test this with multiple scenarios. And
Mm-hmm.
then to confirm all of that, it will definitely take 2 sprint. It definitely will take long working hours. So you have to convince the stakeholders there.
Okay.
Hmm. Of course, you can take help of your Scrum Master and product owner and all, but
Okay. Yeah.
since you'll be the primary contact for this project, right? So you know in and out why this change is happening, and then
Yes.
your developer how much work they have done already. So you know
Mm-hmm.
in and out, right? So you can like handle this conflict in such a way that nobody. So first thing is the most important quality is you are not supposed to become tensed. So you always have to understand there is a process, a protocol is there. We have to like follow those protocols,
Follow the
and
protocol. Be
that's
calm
all.
always.
So don't get angry. Don't shout at them. Don't say then why didn't you say that earlier? What do you think of us? Like that and all you cannot
Yes.
say. Okay. So that's
Okay.
the thing. So that's how you handle conflict with the stakeholders. This one situation. Then they're going to ask you, tell me your strength and weakness. This is some of like very frequently asked question.
Yes. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is your
Mm.
strength and weakness?
What is your strength and weakness? So what are you going to say? Strength and weakness.
Strength, we have to include our technical strengths as well as behavioral.
Mm.
And weakness should be always related to uh, like not like negative personality traits, but something related to work,
Correct.
technical
Work to
work.
work on. Correct. So let's say I'm giving an example. So my strength is I'm an SME. I have a knowledge in healthcare. You can say all of that. Okay. I have domain knowledge, healthcare knowledge. I'm an expert in SQL. If you have all that, you can say. Otherwise, you can say that
Yes,
I'm.
always start with the technical stuff.
Hmm. So you can start like that. Weaknesses, do not say that I'm a perfectionist or I mean I I want things to be done in a certain way, so I get quickly angry. I'm a short-tempered person. I want everyone to be perfect. If I don't finish in my deadline, I get agitated. Like those and all is not weakness. So that means that
Hmm.
you are unable to handle stress environment. So what
Yes,
weakness you're going to say is like work-life balance.
work-life balance. Okay.
Okay, you can say I'm a work alcoholic. I like work
Okay.
and I always I want to like spend time with my family, spend time for myself, but I'm lacking there. So I'm just balancing
Okay.
myself. Like I'm always working, right? Like I work
Yes.
8 to 10, nine
Hmm.
hours a day. Then I have to,
Yes.
yeah. So that's the only thing. So which means for them it is like, okay, you are working long hours. That's good. So for them it's actually strength. From your side, that's a weakness. Okay, so you can always say
Yes.
that I'm trying to like maybe my weakness is food or I overeat. So I'm like trying to go to gym and like
Yes.
making sure taking care of my
I'm
health.
trying to overcome it. Yes.
Mm, I'm trying to become healthy.
Okay.
All this we can say weakness. Okay,
Okay.
but don't say anything like short-tempered,
Yes.
perfectionist. I become agitated. That and
Hmm.
all that words and all should never come. Your personality. Don't make yourself very weak.
Okay. Yes.
Mm. This one is fine. These are all very generic weaknesses.
Yes.
Okay. You can say I like a lot of desserts. That my weakness.
Okay.
That you can say desert. Some people have
Yes.
craving, right? A lot of they eat constantly desserts. So
Yes.
that's my weakness. So be very generic. Don't tell
Okay.
about don't
Yeah,
tell
very
some.
general.
Yeah. Strength is always your professional strength.
Yes, professional.
Weakness is something like this generic, health wise,
Generic.
work life like that you're going to say. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Mm. And what will you do? How will you handle when requirements are constantly changed? So this is like one time change, right? But let's say
Yes.
that the stakeholders are changing things every 2 weeks once.
Okay.
Okay, now that how will you handle?
That's a very tricky part. Every 2 weeks, changing requirement is
Mm,
very stressful then.
correct, they do, but this and all is happening real time. Then how will you handle it? So how will you handle like you should always be very clear before they change. First of all, you will identify the pattern of the stakeholders, right? So
Okay.
after the third call, you will know this person is constantly changing requirements.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, you will identify the pattern whether this person is helpful or this one is making things worse.
Okay.
So what you do is you just draw a straight line, like telling them that once you sign off, okay, once you
Hmm.
sign off the document,
Okay.
once you sign off the BRT,
Hmm.
any changes in requirements will be considered as change request
Change request. Okay.
and will have to go through the request change that protocol change release change management. We say it as a release change management
Release change management. Okay.
through the release change management process.
Okay.
Means like you again like as I told you again new BRD updated BRD again
Hmm.
you're going to change things again
Yes.
sign off and all. So you have to tell them that this will every single time you have a change request you will have a LOE.
Hello,
and
yes,
timeline, yeah,
yes.
timeline delay. This you have to highlight.
Okay.
So first you're joining a call. Okay, the stakeholders are giving
Mm,
you requirements. Now you started
okay.
writing the BRD.
Mm,
Then they're again you're scheduling a call. Now they're changing the requirements. Okay, now
mm,
you change the BRD. Okay, that's fine. But again, the third time if they're doing that, then you identify the pattern.
okay.
Now you tell them at that point, you tell them that now see, I understand maybe first few times you changed it because this process is a new process. That's why we are changing it. But our IT team, we have a process called as release change management.
Okay.
Okay, so once I finalize and provide the BRD, after you sign off, any change in requirements has to go through the change request, which will
Okay.
have a different fee and
LOE.
a timeline. Yeah.
Okay.
So you
And
become
and this is when the change request is within 2 to 3 weeks, right? Not after the whole UAT.
after the whole UAT, if they're changing everything also, then again, like that is see that is like maybe like see after UAT, why they want to change is like they're seeing the product also.
Okay.
So the full product, full functionality they're seeing. Now they think this is not
Mm,
good. If they change it, maybe that is a small change or however change they wanted, we can bill it. This is like
okay.
even before you start development, they're changing,
Okay. 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 Got
constantly changing.
Okay.
So they don't know like to give you perfect requirements. Today they said they want a layout in a certain way. Tomorrow they're saying something. The third day they're saying something.
Okay.
Okay, then what will you do? You have to like make sure you tell them this is keyword is very important. Release change management.
Really change management.
You have to say that we have a process called release change management process. Okay, so once you sign off, any change will be a separate change request,
Okay.
and accordingly, our LOE and timeline also will change. You
Will
CC your
change. Okay.
manager in that email once you send this
Okay. Okay.
to have it as proof
Okay.
that
Yes.
you have informed the business owners initially itself
Okay. Yeah.
that there is a problem with this because you know that with this stakeholder it's not going to end.
And yes.
It's going to be complex, and then see what they will do. They will escalate you. Actually, I'll tell you what will happen if you
Mm,
don't follow this process.
okay.
They will tell that Syed didn't gather requirements properly. They didn't they didn't
Yes. Yes. Yes.
like they'll tell you like you
Okay.
are
Yes.
responsible for all this mess in this project.
Yes.
So you have to create proofs, evidence from your side, backup
Okay.
you and the whole team. For that, BA
Mm-hmm.
has to like send emails putting all these keywords.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is the version. So you say it as BRD version 1, BRD version 2. In the BRD itself, you have to like update version 1. Changes were done. This is the date. Version 2. These are the changes done.
Okay.
Date. Version 3. These are the changes done. Date. Like this, you create the versions of the BRD, maintain the different versions of the BRD, so that
Okay.
in future you have proof like in this particular date, this particular business owner requested this change. That's why we did it. So
Okay.
documentation is very crucial when it comes to
Yes.
like constantly the requirements are
Mm-hmm.
changed. So what you have to do from documentation perspective,
Mm-hmm.
you need to have version numbers
Okay. Yes.
and the date the changes were asked, date, and who
Okay. Who
sta-
requested? Okay.
yeah, requested that change, contact who requested. Okay, this and all you need to document and send an email
Okay.
saying that.
And I think we need to only follow the request from the primary stakeholder.
Yeah, but see, but you need to put their name. They have to take accountability.
Okay. Yes.
You put that, okay, this
Okay.
person, for example, John requested
Mm.
this change, and you send the BRD to John. John has to provide a sign off in the email saying
I
that,
know.
yes, I
Okay.
requested this. Otherwise, in the call, who is going to see?
Yes. No.
When and
Nobody.
tomorrow, when it's escalation and all, you have proof that John
Yes.
provided the sign off.
Sign off. Yes. That's
Mm.
right.
Otherwise, like, listen, if you don't, let's say you are not sending any emails, okay, and then John requested that, he is a primary stakeholder, and
Okay.
tomorrow some escalation happens, there is no evidence for you to back up that. He only requested.
Okay. Okay.
Then
Yes.
he may also back out and say, no, I didn't tell that to him.
That might happen. Yes.
Yeah, they may do. See, leadership can do anything.
Okay. We need to be very smart enough here too.
Yeah, don't think that leadership won't blame you. Or actually, we have scenarios where teams blaming other teams.
Oh.
Okay, so where one of the Scrum team, right, they will blame another dependency team that because of that team only we didn't go live. They didn't finish
Okay.
that work within that particular timeline. We had dependency on that team. They didn't go live. That's why
Okay.
I didn't go live. Like that and all teams will fight.
Yes.
So your engineer will fight with that engineer. So they will architect again will be shouting in the calls and so
Yes.
to avoid all that, see the maximum what we can do is you have to make sure that whatever request they are giving you document it then and there. You
Okay.
document in the BRD, you document through emails, you make sure that you have evidence proof. So suppose in case during the go live or after we go live some escalation happens, you can like protect yourself and your team members.
Okay.
Mm. This has happened to me. Okay, I'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
one. This happened to me. So one time what happened is stakeholders, they
Mm-hmm.
requested a change.
Okay.
Okay, so they
Uh-huh.
requested a change, and that change, what they told is like their team will take care of that change. Okay, so they said that
Okay.
your team
Uh-huh.
no longer, Pradeepa, your team no longer need to send anything. Okay,
Okay.
so you
Mm-hmm.
just send me the a sample. For example, just send an XML file. Your team has to send a daily XML file. That's all. The
Okay.
validation part we will take care. Our team will
Okay.
take care. Okay, and they
Okay.
agree.
Okay.
Currently, the validation is done by my team. Whenever we
Okay.
receive that member data, the validation is done by my team. Once the
Mm-hmm.
validation is done, then we are routing the documents to the dependency team. Okay, that's the scenario. But they said going forward for this new project, you don't do any validation. Your team just send us an XML file. We will do the validation. That's what their engineers told.
Okay.
Okay, now I
Mm-hmm.
documented it. Not only I documented, I recorded the call.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I recorded the
Mm.
call. I had a copy local in my local machine, and because sometimes recordings can also expire and then it's not available in Confluence or Teams. So
Yes.
you have a copy, and then you send an email saying that going forward, this team is going to like take care of the validation, and my team is not
Mm.
necessarily responsible. Like this, you send an email, and finally,
Okay.
what happened? They didn't do that code change. They
Okay.
didn't do. And see,
Okay.
why they didn't do, I understand, is because they discussed this maybe like 6 months back. Then everybody forgot about that. And then
Okay.
after that, when suddenly the project, like people change, come and go. There are so many layoffs
Yes.
happening. Like nobody know
Yes.
what
Yes.
then. And but they didn't do it. Okay, so they didn't do it. So ours is just only sending the XML file. So we didn't do we did our code change. We send it. So after we
Mm-hmm.
went live, they are also not validating member data.
Okay.
So it's like anybody can submit request. The case is being created.
Yes.
Okay, so then
Mm-hmm.
we got into escalation, right? So the only thing my manager was backing up me was because I had those evidence.
Okay.
So
Yes.
I said, see, in this recording, attached recording, in this
Mm-hmm.
recording, in time 9.1, see that engineer is confirming the
Okay.
requirement.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I have sent on a attached email on this particular day. This particular
Mm.
engineer from this team has confirmed the requirement. So I sent it to my manager.
Okay.
See, they agreed. I have evidence. Now my manager in the because that's escalation call. Okay, so my manager will be
Yes.
there. So my manager
Mm-hmm.
is like, see, they already agreed. We have evidence. What do you want? Now leadership will only look at the evidence.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
yes, your team agreed to it. That's why they didn't perform. But your team
Mm-hmm.
forgot to like do that requirement. They resolve that issue. So
Okay.
if you don't have evidence or proof, your
Mm.
manager cannot back you when there is a problem.
Okay.
So as a BA, that's why I'm telling. Whenever the
Mm-hmm.
any requirements are changed, it will fall on the BA only. So we should
Okay.
be it should we should constantly like document the process.
Document everything. Yes.
Put the date, put the version number,
Mm-hmm.
add the name of the person, send an email, send the email confirmation also.
Mm. Okay.
So you can say that, hi, John, I have attached the updated BRD and with the requested changes. Please sign off through an email for my documentation process. Like that, you can like
Okay.
purposes like that. You send an email. Once you
Okay.
provide, if they provide the sign off, right? You just store that email, save that email, download and save that email
Mm-hmm.
also.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that's how like you
Mm.
as a BA professional you can handle these situations.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The next one is how do you handle smooth UAT? So what
Motivate.
is UAT?
You like business owners testing the product after they go live.
After, not after the go live, before the go live.
Okay, before they go live. Sorry, yes.
So you create a product, any software product, and then your time of testers, right? They are finishing their side of testing. Then you
Okay,
want the business owners to test the product.
test the product.
Okay,
Yes.
let's say like for Wells Fargo. Okay, now
Mhm.
we want business owners, like the functionality is California members has to log in, and they are not, they should not see the form. Okay,
Okay.
that's the requirement.
Mhm.
So you, how do you perform UAT? You give like 5 dummy members, UAT
Okay.
member IDs. Then you
Okay.
give the username and password. They have to
Okay.
log in. Once they
Okay.
log in, they should not see the assessment or
Assessment.
the survey. They should not
Yes.
see it.
Yes.
So that is UAT. UAT means they
Yes.
they log in manually, and then you can be in the call. You can help them.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can be in the
Help them
demo call.
navigate everything.
Yes, but they have to like test and provide sign off.
Okay.
So first, like the smooth way for them to do transition is, how do you handle smooth UAT? First of all, you need to have all the UAT test plan,
Okay.
test
UAT test
scenarios,
plan.
mm,
Okay.
test scenarios in hand. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
So here is a perfect example. See, it needs to have a test scenario, test steps, expected result, actual result, pass or fail. So this is an example. So for example, how you have to navigate login functionality. A login
Okay.
functionality means first you have to go to login page. You have to
Mm-hmm.
enter valid credentials, click on login button. So what is the
Okay.
test data, username and password,
Mm-hmm.
expected result. You need to have a successful login, actual
Okay.
result, whether they are able to log in, pass or fail.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay.
this,
Okay.
like
Okay.
you need to like write the steps.
Okay.
Okay. Then
This is
like
the test plan.
this is, yeah, test scenarios.
Test scenario.
So
Okay.
test plan is like how many features are you going to test? Only login or any other feature?
Okay.
So feature
Okay.
level. This is login
Feature.
functionality. Okay, then you have some
Okay.
functionalities like shopping, like say shopping cart functionality. So shopping cart means
Okay.
member has to log in, then have to click
Mm-hmm.
some a product to the cart, go to the checkout, then they have to,
Mm-hmm.
that item has to be displayed, then they have to add to the you're going to verify whether the correct product is added with the right quantity, then they
Mm-hmm.
have to, like, it means it's pass.
Okay.
Shopping cart means adding product to the shopping cart, that functionality.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for example, this is how it will be in the Excel sheet. This is how it will be: test
Okay.
ID, test
Mm.
scenario, test steps, expected result. These are the test data, actual result, pass or fail, comments.
Okay. So we have to create it in Excel.
Mm.
Okay.
Like this
Not in
multiple
Jira.
scenarios you're going to say: login scenario, account creation, shopping
Okay.
cart scenario. Like this scenario will change accordingly, the steps, everything will change.
Okay.
So you can have maybe 5 scenarios or 10 scenarios depending upon how, like, how big is the project.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But this is the template.
Template. Okay.
Mm. So let's say one they are unable to create an account, then that's a fail.
Mm. Fail. Yes.
The comment is unable. They can attach a screenshot also here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Unable. This is the error it's throwing, like that. For example,
Okay.
login, unable to log in, fail. This is a screenshot. So you like create this. You ask them to fill it.
Okay.
But this means like it's easy for you also to track whether they've completed
Okay.
every single thing.
Yes.
So how to have a smooth UAT? You have to create the test plan, create test scenarios in this
Test
particular
scenario. Yes.
format. This is the format.
Okay. In Excel or in Word too, I think.
What, Sayed? What did you say?
The template can be in Excel or else in Microsoft Word.
Yeah, Word or Excel. It can be
Okay.
anything.
Oh,
It's not only like, you
okay.
can actually do it in Jira also. See here.
Jira also.
Jira also
Okay.
you can do. You can do it in Trello. You can do it in Excel. You can do it in my Word.
Okay.
Anything you can do.
The business owners have access to Jira, right?
Yes. Internal means
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So, but in my project and all, we do it in Excel sheet.
Excel sheet. Okay.
And what I will do, I'll attach in the story.
Okay. Okay.
Once they perform, right, I will attach in my story
Mm-hmm.
that I've created. I'll attach it as saying that attached UAT test scenarios, test plans. And usually after once everything is done, they through email also they have to like give you a approval. So how they give means, for example, I have a format. I, John Smith, has performed UAT for the below user story. All the test cases were passed successfully. I provide UAT sign off for the below user story to go live on or after March 26, 2025. Like this.
Okay.
Means I performed user story. Like below you'll attach the user story also, that link.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so this is like in email, I'll get a confirmation like this.
Okay.
So just you're telling that they perform, they're ready to go anywhere to live on today or anything later also after.
Okay. Later.
Mm.
Okay.
So you're going to, this word is also important. All the test cases were passed successfully.
Fine. Okay.
So, okay, let's say that one couple of test cases failed, okay, and business is
Mm-hmm.
fine. It's an emergency request. They're saying, okay, okay, go ahead. In future we can fix it. They will tell sometimes. Then
Oh,
it's
okay.
very critical. They want to. So that time means you're going to say that among the five test cases, only three were passed. But since business, due to business priority, we still go ahead like that. And all you're going to, you ask them.
Okay.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So this is called as UAT approval.
UAT approval.
Hmm. Approval format. I have this. What I will do is I usually remove the name and I give it to them like
Mm-hmm.
this. What I give tell them is this is our format. I'll give like this. Add your name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then date also I will put it for them. And then please
Okay.
reply with adding your name and providing sign off with the following Jira ID. So this will be your proof
Okay.
that they have tested and provided sign off
Okay.
like that. Okay. So this is how like for smooth UAT, you need to have planning. So first is you need to have a solid test plan document,
Test plan. Yeah.
all the test scenarios. Then once
Mm-hmm.
they do it, you have to get the approval.
Approval. Okay.
Mm. If you find defects, UAT defects, then depending upon the defects, again you will create a defect in Jira.
Okay.
So if there is any defect, depending upon the defect, we can fix it within like 2 hours, 24 hours, however long it's going to take. So we can fix that
Okay.
defect. Again, business owners have to test it. But business owners are like, no, no, that's fine. We can go ahead with the go live. Then that you're going to get the sign off accordingly.
Okay.
Mm. If it's emergency, then they will
Mm-hmm.
give. If you have time, right?
Time. Okay.
Usually, then they'll be like, okay, fix all the defects. I will
Okay. Fix
retest
all the
again.
different.
Mm.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So do you
Yeah.
understand this one?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. Next is
Mm.
like how do you handle production defects? So after you
Okay.
go live, after you go live, now everything
Mm.
is like jumping. Then you had multiple defects. Now how do you handle? Now everybody is going to call you. Sayed, we have production defects. Come on, join the call. So what will you do now if it is production defects? So first is
Um,
you will identify how many users are affected.
okay. Identify how many users are affected.
Hmm. Affected. How many? If it's
Okay.
1 to 10, it's minor then.
1 to 10 is minor.
1 to 10
Okay.
means it's like minor. So we don't, we just take the list of members who have this
Okay.
and then
So 1 to
we'll ask
10,
production
yes, it's
support to support
minor.
it. We don't like usually production support will help.
Okay, minor
Okay.
defects.
Yes. More than that, if it's more than that, then what we do, you initiate the SWOT call.
Okay, shortcut. And the prod team, there is a different prod team, right?
Yeah,
To
production support usually there'll be a different
production
team.
support.
Mm.
Okay.
So see, the biggest thing is production support don't know anything about development.
Okay, they don't know anything about development.
They don't know anything about requirement gathering. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
anything about development. So if you see, when you are a beginner, if you directly go to production support,
Mm-hmm.
you won't have exposure to all of this product development.
Okay, okay.
So I've had people who've been in production support for 10 years, still they don't know about IT, how it
About
works.
it. Oh,
So what they will know
okay.
is only like resolving certain problems in a certain way.
Okay, okay.
If this problem is coming, tell user like this is the solution. If this is occurring, raise a request. So they know only like their knowledge will be very limited to only that supporting the
Limited.
production environment. So they
Okay,
will not
okay.
know how to gather requirements, how to do development, how to do code changes, how to like coordinate with DevOps, that and all they don't know.
Okay, okay, okay.
So if you're going for if your interviewer is saying that you'll be in production support team, you have to be very
Okay.
careful.
Oh,
Yeah, in some means like see your knowledge will be very limited.
okay, yes. Very limited.
There's a defect means you can fix. That's the only. You're not gathering requirements. You will not be a part. You will be part of all the scrum calls and all because you are in the
Okay,
team. Okay, but
okay, okay,
you won't do actual development as a developer, or
okay,
you won't be talking to stakeholders. That and all you won't do.
okay.
So you are an IT team, but you're just
Mm-hmm.
fixing defects. That's all.
Okay. If
Mm,
there are any defects, then there will be defects, of course, but
mm,
at a very small part, will play a very small part in it.
they'll fix it. So
Okay.
they're like customer care, right? Like certain if you have
Yes.
any issues, they will resolve it if you call them.
Oh, yes, yes.
So like that support means it's just like you have any issues, they support it. That's all. Major code fix and
Okay.
all will be done by engineers, our core engineers.
Okay.
So production support won't handle. So they will resolve only like minor few things. For example, I'm saying you forgot your password. You're going to call
Mm-hmm.
the IT team. They will can okay reset your password and only that much, only that level of fixes they will be able to do.
Fixes. Okay.
If that is completely code change and all, only our engineers can do it.
Okay. So
To
if it is only minor,
mm,
then only this team
one
will be
production
able to.
support will take care. Correct. So let's say that you have to roll back the code. Nothing is working. You have to roll
Mm-hmm.
back. Then our engineers only have to take care of it.
Okay. Rollback is like totally changing the code,
Yeah, we are just pulling the code back.
pulling the code back. Okay.
Mm. So let's say this particular change goes live. Okay, Wells Fargo, when they log in, that
Mm-hmm.
form should not be there. It went live. But what happened? The whole portal is jammed now.
Yes.
After that code change, nothing is working. Then we'll roll back
Mm-hmm.
that code because
Okay.
all the users are affected, right? Not only California
Yes.
members.
Yes.
Everybody's getting affected. So I told more than 10 means we will initiate SWOT call. In SWOT call, we'll identify the root cause. Then if you think like it cannot be solved within 2 hours, the major defects are there, multiple users are affected, you're getting customer call, is getting a lot of calls, then immediately roll back the code.
Okay. Okay.
Especially customer facing applications like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we don't want the public to be affected.
Okay. Yes.
So we have to understand. So anything production defects, if it's minor, yes, production support will take care of
Mm-hmm.
it. If it's major, as a BA, you will initiate the SWOT call.
What call? Okay.
Okay, you will call
Who are
all
involved?
your engineers, product
Okay.
manager. If you have any dependency team, their engineers, everybody will be there.
Okay.
Okay, so you come to the SWOT call, then they will find the root cause analysis.
Okay.
Why, what happened, when it's happening, is there any pattern? Then if you're able to, if the engineers feel that this can be fixed within 1 or 2 hours, then it's fine. If they think this cannot be fixed, then like there are multiple options. If there are only very critical defects, business wants to like fix within like next 24 hours, we can still have
Mm-hmm.
the code. But business is
Okay.
completely, the system is shut down and all, then the option is to roll back.
Rollback. Okay. If there's a complete shutdown. Then we have to roll back.
Yes, complete shutdown, multiple users affected and all.
Okay.
That and all. Yes. So for one scenario is like, I think 3 months back, some airline, some problem came.
Mm-hmm.
And all the airlines, like, nothing was working in airport. Do you know that? All the
Yes,
flights were.
the Windows issue, right?
Mm.
It was caused by a platform engineer, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did. And then everything, like, nobody is able to like book ticket. Nothing is
Book
working, I
tickets.
think.
Yes, yes. I'm aware
Correct,
of that.
correct. So like that, multiple, the whole universe is being affected. Then,
Yes. Yes.
then what is that? The CEO was actually giving news, actually saying that we are very sorry, we are fixing the defect. CEO level, because
Yes.
it was a mass defect. I think multiple users, multiple platforms.
Crow. It was Crow something company. I forgot the company name.
Correct. So I remember watching in TV that
Yes.
people are stuck in
Uh,
airports.
it was all over the news.
For one engineer doing that, everybody
Yes.
is affected. Imagine
Yes.
you have a wedding. Usually, people from US, they go to their wedding 3 days before their wedding. Okay, 3 days. I tell
Especially.
people, don't book before 3 days. At least book a week, because sometimes you never know. You go to airport and then you get
Yes.
stuck for 3 days. Your
It was
wedding day is
it was
gone.
on the weekend, Friday, I think, Friday evening.
Correct. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And then by the time you reach India, all your functions will be over.
Yes.
So I tell people whoever going to get married, don't think everything will be fine. Okay, book at least a
Yeah.
week before and go. So yeah, like that. So if it's multiple, very critical, then they roll back the code.
Okay.
So production defects, there are like levels of defects. If it's minor, yes, production support will take care. If it's something like critical, yes, you create a SWOT call and you will invite everybody. Everyone should do their root cause analysis, and then you identify whether that defects can be solved in within 24 hours. If not, then usually engineers will say, if multiple people are affected and they don't know also how to fix it, then we roll back the code.
Okay.
Mm. Okay, so you understand
Okay.
this all these
Yes, sir.
questions, right,
Yes, yes.
Syed?
Yes, it was interesting. I got
Interesting.
it. Yes.
Okay, good, good. Okay, I think these are like for behavioral, and then
Okay.
tomorrow we will learn about core BA, like during requirement gathering, like certain
Okay.
core BA questions. Okay,
For BA
so
questions.
this is
Okay.
behavioral. Mostly, this is how they will ask.
Okay.
So
Yes.
any conflicts, how did you resolve? Tell me
And
your story.
what about where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Don't say manager role.
Okay.
You're always going to say, I want to become an SME, I want to become a senior BA, or you can say, I
Senior
want to
BA.
become
Okay.
advisor, executive advisor, like that. Don't say that you want to become a manager.
Okay. Okay.
Mm. So if you are showcasing 5+ in your resume, just say you want to
Mm-hmm.
become an advisor or executive advisor.
Okay.
I want to become a senior BA. I want to
Mm-hmm.
become a perfectionist. I want to become an SME. That's all. Stop there. Don't tell like I'm planning to become a project manager.
Okay. It can be
Okay.
a one line answer, right?
Yeah. So you
Okay.
can say that my goal is like I want to become even more professional, expert.
Okay.
I
Build
want
the
to.
domain
Mm,
expertise.
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
and you can say that I'm learning AI tools, and also in 5 years, if you see like a lot of AI involvement will be there in the business
Okay.
analysis process. So I'm just like I'm going to prepare myself to learn all these AI tools to make sure I become even more like updated, current with the current
Updated.
market and trend.
Yes. I believe there are already AI tools to create BRDs and diagrams and all, right?
Mm. So you should know as a BA to use those tools and all. So going
Okay.
forward, people will ask you to use those tools, like how we use Jira and Confluence. So
Mm-hmm.
going forward, they'll ask you to ask, do you know about all these AI tools? You have experience in all. They'll ask you in a couple of years
Okay.
itself. They will ask.
They will ask, yes,
Mm.
that's right.
So you have to like learn those new tools, upgrade yourself with all this new skill set, and then you can say that
Okay.
I want to become, because every 5 years the trend will be changing. So last 10 years, Agile was a trend.
Yes,
Before
Agile
that,
was a
Agile
trend.
was not there. Last
Not
10
there before.
years only, Agile was there. Agile user
Agile,
stories, Jira, Confluence. This and all last 10 years, it is trend.
yes. Yes, yes.
Now it is AI trend. From now till next
Right.
10 years, completely everything will
Next
be AI
10
based.
AI. Yes, yes.
So you have to tell them that I'm working, I want to become updated with the current market, whatever is tools and technologies, I want to get updated. So I'm
Okay,
focusing myself to become an AI BA, and I'm looking forward to that. I want to become an advisor or executive advisor or a system subject matter expert
okay,
with AI based. That's all.
okay,
So don't tell
okay.
them you want to get into a different line. For example, don't tell that you want to become a scrum master. Don't tell that you want to become a product owner. Don't tell
Not
that
a
you want
problem.
to
Okay,
become a project manager. That and all you should avoid.
okay.
Means that you're only focusing as a from
Focus
BA perspective.
from BA perspective.
Mm.
Okay.
So how you so why do you want to join our company? If
Yes,
they
why
ask
do
you,
you want to? Yes.
why do you want to
Mm.
join our company? Or they'll say, why should I give you a job? They'll ask you like that. Why should we
Yes,
give
why
you
should
a
we
job?
hire you?
Why should you
Yes,
hire you? See, you should hire me because I'm an expert.
yes.
Okay, so I'm an expert. I have 5 plus. I know how to gather requirements. I know how to document things. I can handle stressful situations. I have experience in healthcare domain and banking domain. I have all these experiences. I am a subject matter expert. If you hire
Yes.
me, you no need to give me
Actually,
any.
yes, there was a question in an interview. They asked me,
Mm,
let's suppose we are in an lift and we are going from ground floor to the 20th floor, and you want to convince me to hire you. So,
mm,
how would you convince me while we travel in the lift? So, I gave a very generic answer. I didn't have any good ideas. I gave very generic answer. Then I realized I should have mentioned about the role and the technical expertise I possess and all.
mm. So what was the question? So he asked like a person is going from ground floor to
So
20th
let's
floor.
suppose we are on the ground floor and
Mm,
we have just done your interview and we are going to the 20th floor.
mm,
So during that journey, how will you convince me to hire you
mm.
during a conversation like it is a casual conversation? How would you convince me?
Within that short period of
Yes,
time.
within that short period
So
of time.
from first floor to 20th floor, how many minutes
Yes.
it will take?
So let's take like 3 minutes, 2 to
Mm,
3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes. So you're
Yes.
going to save that. Yes, I'm an experienced business analyst. I have all this domain knowledge. Okay, and then technical knowledge, and I have handled a very big Scrum teams part of um, a very big I mean, see, from your experience, right, this projects, you can say first you're going to say showcases, like you're going to say that you have high level of skill set with which other people don't have in the market. What's that skill
Okay.
set?
Yes.
First is requirement gathering skill set, right? So
Requirement.
you
Yes.
can put in any environment, you'll be able to gather requirements. You can be able
Mm.
to like document very requirements in a very precise and a very clear way.
Okay.
Okay, when
Like
there is any
core
yeah.
BA responsibilities.
Correct. You put me in any situation, any new project, any data migration project, any brand new project, anything you put me, I'll be able to gather requirements in first two
Okay.
calls. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then second one is I'll be able to like document it properly. If there is
Okay.
any change in the requirements, I'll be able to handle those changes also.
Okay.
And so like all this you will define it. You can say
Mm.
that I'm a subject
Yes.
matter expert with all this expertise. So that's why you should hire me.
Yes. I gave a very generic answer back then
Hmm.
about how I am a good team member. That's it. I
Oh, you
didn't.
said you are a good team.
Yeah.
Okay, they didn't hire you then.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, you're not supposed to like say I'm a good team member and all. So you're going to like talk from your like what are the best you have. So see, there are like 100 people. Why should I hire Syed?
Yes.
What is different and unique about him?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody is good, right? Everybody
Mhm.
have done their own
Yes.
learning, and then everybody have their own strengths and everything. But why should I hire you? So you're going to say that other people may not handle stressful environments, even if they have
Mm-hmm.
domain knowledge. Also, they may
Yes.
not have that quality what I have. You put me in any stressful environment, I'll be able to handle it.
Okay.
So that and all you have to like showcase.
Mm-hmm.
Even in reality, you can be short tempered, but in the
Yes.
interview, you're just going. In the interview, you just showcase as if you are the best BA in the world.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
We
good.
have to sell ourselves. Yes.
Yeah, impress them, right? Just like
Yes.
in 30 minutes, whatever you can do it. That's it.
Yes.
You
Yes.
sometimes if they like your personality also, they will give
Mm-hmm.
you. Sometimes they'll be like, okay, I like this person because he's very
Mm-hmm.
energetic, enthusiastic, and then he's
Yes.
very positive. I think domain knowledge and all we can train him, but he's a very
Yes.
lively person.
Yes,
So
that's correct. The
mm,
communication skills should be very clear, concise, confident.
mm,
Our confidence should speak, so then they will consider our
correct, correct. So
the
you have
technical
been
aspect anyone can build
that
well.
that people can train you also. You can
Yes.
also learn. So, but you need to have that curiosity within you
Mm-hmm.
to
Yes.
learn new things, to get that
Yes.
actual job, like that curiousness.
Yes.
Okay, what do you want me to do? Why do you think I'm not eligible for this job?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, okay.
Ma'am, do you have any video on Power BI?
Power BI? No, no.
No. Okay.
I don't have anything on Power BI stuff.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So I think you have on Tableau. So I
Mm,
will go through it.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
Sayed, good. I think we are good to see some important topic. How to answer core BA
Core
questions.
BI. Okay.
Okay. So there are like different segments, okay, as BA that you will need to do. So first is you will gather
Mm-hmm.
requirements.
Core.
Then the next step is like you're going to
Document them.
documentation. Then the third step is like when it comes to documentation, there are multiple, depending upon what methodology are you, or if you're in hybrid model. Okay. So basically, when it comes to documentation,
Mm-hmm.
expectation is you write BRDs, you write FRDs,
FRDs.
and then you write user
User
stories,
stories.
and then you create data flow diagrams.
Data flow. Yeah. BPMN, I think.
Yes, BPMN diagrams, all of that, flow charts, all of that. Then also data mapping documents.
Data mapping and technical requirements.
Mhm. Document and technical specification document. These are the basic requirements. You
Basically.
need to know all of this. Okay, you cannot say that I don't know how to create BRE. That and all means like you're not functionally like working as a like a BA, right? Proper
BA.
BA means they need to know all of this. Then once after documentation,
Mm-hmm.
then the primary nowadays what people want is like how do you coordinate with your scrum team.
Okay.
So for example, scrum team means you have a scrum master, then you have a product owner, then you are going to have your lead engineers. So if you have a testing team, that's fine. Otherwise you will be the
Okay.
one performing testing. So I will tell you there are two scenarios here where you have a
Mm-hmm.
separate testing team, and you are having again DevOps team. Okay, that is there. So these are the teams that you will be coordinating. When I say Scrum team, DevOps is not your Scrum team, but you will be coordinating with DevOps for deployment. Okay, basically Scrum team means Scrum Master, product owner, your engineers, your testers,
Okay.
and other BAs.
Okay.
Okay, other BAs too.
DevOps is a total new methodology, right? Like
It's a
different
different team
methodology,
actually.
different team. Yes.
Other BAs. So this is Scrum team.
Okay.
So how usually in practically how we will work is, so if you have, let's say in your team, if you have like three BAs,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're one of the BA.
Okay.
Totally there are three BAs. So how we will differentiate work is, like for example, if I am Pradeepa, I am a BA, and Syed, you are a
Mm-hmm.
BA, and the third person John is a BA. Okay, three of
Mm-hmm.
us are BA. Now
Mm-hmm.
project owner will be telling like who has more knowledge on which line of business. Okay, for example, in healthcare, I know everything about Medicaid,
Okay.
and Syed knows everything about Medicare,
Medicare, yes.
and John knows everything about commercial.
Tricare, okay.
Okay,
Come on.
commercial like line of business. So
Okay.
like these three people have three like expertise in different line of business.
Okay.
Now, when a new Medicaid market comes, something new project for a Medicaid market,
Mm-hmm.
then like project owner will know Pradeepa has that like specialty, like she knows about that domain very well. Let's give that to her.
Okay.
And if there's something in Medicare, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then she will know that okay, Syed is like has very good knowledge about all Medicare processes. So we will let Syed lead this call. Let's take this
Okay.
project.
Project
Okay,
management.
like this, we will like usually That's how we do it in my project. Okay, so if you have multiple BAs, everyone will have their own like line of
Own
business
project.
specialty.
Yes.
You cannot say that one BA knows about everything in and out entire application. No, it's not like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Yes.
for some, yeah, so from some line of business, there'll be some BAs will be very good in certain line of business.
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that the project manager already they will know it. Okay, this person is like capable of leading this particular requirements like that. So that's how they give it to you. Or if
Okay.
let's say there is a brand new something is coming, nobody has ever worked on it, then it's
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be like a group work. So all the
Okay,
three
group
AVs
all
you have
together.
to huddle. Yeah, you guys have to huddle together and then
Mm.
understand what will be the requirement, how we have to take it. That is when you need other your colleagues' help and all. So you
Okay.
cannot do it by yourself alone. If
Okay.
it's something that you have never done earlier,
Mm-hmm.
okay, something like AI pops up because AI and all nobody is has experience. Okay, so
Yes.
now like project manager is saying that whatever existing application that we have, we have to integrate and make it more AI friendly. Something like
Mhm.
that, a new requirement comes, nobody has no clue because that's not an existing functionality. That's completely new in IT. So that's when like all the three BAs, you guys have to huddle and then come up with a plan. How are we going to gather requirements? What are the techniques we are going to use? So, but yeah, so coordinating with your Scrum team. So working with other BAs is also very, very crucial. Don't think that you will be
Mm-hmm.
the only one, you'll be the
Only
one
one.
one leading and all. No. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
like be very friendly with your other colleagues, especially BAs.
BS. Okay.
So, but testers, engineers, and all like you won't interact too much. But with other BAs, you will definitely interact almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, engineers and testers also you will interact, but mostly with other BAs, right? Because if you have any doubt, the only person who can clarify is the other BA.
Yes, that's right.
So you have to how much you're coordinating with this team. That is very, very crucial. So that is also part of your role and responsibility, coordinating with your Scrum team members.
Okay.
Okay. So first, when it comes to then it comes to testing part. Okay. So
Testing.
testing,
Okay.
like I said, there are two types of testing. So one is SIT testing, that is called as system integration testing,
Okay.
and then you have something called as UAT,
UAT.
that
Yes.
is user acceptance testing.
User acceptance. Yes.
Acceptance testing. Okay. So user acceptance testing is the final testing with the business
And.
owners, but
Mhm.
SIT is done by testing team. This is
Okay.
done by testers, internal
Okay.
testers. If there is no testing team, you will be the one doing it.
Oh. Okay.
So let's say there is no testing team. Okay. So
Okay.
there is only engineers and then only BAs. So you will be
Mhm.
you will also test in SIT.
Okay.
So you will test in SIT and also you will coordinate with for UAT.
Okay. Okay.
Currently in US, no, like they want these kind of skills only in the market. They want someone
Mm-hmm.
who needs to be a BA also. Also, that person needs to know about testing part.
Testing. Okay.
Mm. So I'll tell you like how different SIT and UAT will be. Okay, so these are the
Okay.
things. Then final deployment that activities you need to coordinate. Then you have that post implementation validation. Okay, so now these are some of the core roles, right? That you have to as a BA you have to participate. So first is requirement gathering. So when it comes to requirement gathering sessions, like I said, they're going to ask you multiple questions like um, how what are the techniques that you have used? Okay, techniques used to gather requirements. So according to
Okay.
Babcock, we have 50 different techniques,
Uh-huh.
but the
Most is
most important is like what I use in every day is interview.
interview.
Okay, and then focus group.
Focus groups. Okay.
These are like I don't use brainstorming.
Brainstorming and JAD. I think JAD session.
Yeah, so I don't use brainstorming like that because brainstorming means like you're asking everybody's opinion.
Okay.
So that's
Yes.
a difference. So brainstorming means you have no clue what to do. You're asking everybody's opinion. So I don't do that technique.
Okay.
It's completely waste of time. There is no end result at all.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
what I do is focus group. Focus group means I prepare the questions.
Okay.
Okay. And as a group, I am asking them. I invite 4 to 5 stakeholders and
Mm-hmm.
I throw them the bunch of questions. So what's the difference between interview and focus group? Interview is one on one.
One on one. Okay.
So only one stakeholder you ask them questions. That is interview. Focus group means you have set of people, stakeholders, and you have already prepared the list of questions. You are
Okay.
leading the call and asking them very precise questions
Okay.
about, for exactly like what is the data flow, what type of
Mm.
data we will get, what is the file layout. Explain me in detail, like very specific questions you are asking them.
Like, will they know about all these technical stuff?
They may or they may not. If they already have something existing functionality, they may know it. If not, they will say I don't know. But we need to ask them.
Okay. Okay.
Mm. So we will say maybe first focus group they may not know it, but after that they may also like ask their team, someone like other stakeholders, and then they can get back. Anyway, like we have this is elucidation, right? So we have to
Yes.
like start at least asking them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Without the file layout and all, our engineer cannot like you cannot create a user story without that.
Okay. Yes.
So, okay, so if I say that if there is a data flow, that there is an inbound file that needs to be received by the system, so our engineer is going to ask, okay, I got it. We will get a CSV file, but what format it is? Tell me the metadata layout, internal file layout. He's going to ask. Otherwise, he cannot develop the code.
Okay.
So when you gather requirements,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be like very precise and clear your questions.
Okay.
Okay, so when you start writing the BRD, that is also there, no? So when you start writing the BRD, what are the like basic format of a BRD? BRD needs to have in scope,
In scope, out of scope,
out of scope, needs to like have all these diagrams, right?
diagram,
Flow diagrams,
flow diagrams. Yes.
needs to have all the business use cases.
Yes.
Okay, with that business use case also, usually like what I do, I also like write some of the technical details as well. Like for example, this is the file layout, and this is where the files will be landing. From there, it will be picked up by a certain team. Like that, like high level also I will write.
High level.
Full,
Okay.
yeah, full like data flow. I will describe it.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, first let's come to like what type of questions they can ask in requirement gathering. Okay, let me take the list of questions. So they may be asking you like, can you share some can you share your experience in gathering requirements with an example? Okay, so explain me about your project. So
Mm-hmm.
first like question, let me take another avenue. So first when it comes to elucidation technique. Questions. Okay, so you said you're using like if they ask you, Syed, what are the techniques you have used while gathering requirements, and you say that, yeah, I have used brainstorming, interviews, I have used focus groups, questionnaire surveys. These are the techniques that I have used. Now the next question is what they're going to ask is like, can you give me an example how
Okay.
you give me a use case
Mm-hmm.
that you gathered requirements. Okay, so if you're already experienced, like there are two things you can do. If you're already experienced, if you have added experience in your resume, then you have to take a use case. For example, login functionality. I'm just giving an example. Okay, login functionality. If that is login functionality, for this login functionality, how did you get the requirements? Okay, so let me show you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, if there is a login functionality, so when you gather requirements, you need to ask them that, okay, when member logs in, whether they are going to log in only with their email ID and password, ideal flow. Okay.
Okay.
So
Idea.
user enters into their email or mobile number. Then user enters with their password. They click on sign in, right? If everything is valid, then the system has to allow and then redirect to the home page.
Homepage. Yes.
This will be the ideal flow.
Ideal flow. Okay.
Alternative flow is suppose in case they are using something like like social media login. So they can log in by Apple, they can log in by Facebook ID, they can log in by Google ID, Gmail.
Okay.
They need not create an email and password. They can just directly log in with their one of their social media accounts.
Okay.
Okay, so that is a business request.
Mhm.
Then how do you want to do? What kind of validation you have to do? So very specific. So just for login functionality, you have two flows. One flow is email ID and password. But nowadays, if you see, you know that, right?
Yes.
Email ID, password will be there. Under that, like social media login also will be there.
Yes. That's right.
Okay, so that is an alternate flow.
Okay.
So when you like, it can be a simple requirement. If you're going to define this as example in the interview, you have to say, so I have like when I write a use case is login, and
Mm.
then I have a description. Okay, so website, you can take any website and you have to like log in through email ID and mobile number. That
O-
person needs to be a registered user. So
o-
precondition means he must be having an account. Otherwise, he must create an account.
Okay.
And then ideal flow is like everything needs, like you're describing the steps.
Mm-hmm.
User is logging in, user has a valid password name, a password, email ID number, their login. Alternative flow is they can also use their social media accounts to log in.
Okay.
Okay, then what are the exceptions and alerts? Exception is, for example, if there is no account, it has to throw an alert,
Okay.
error message. Or
Oh,
if there is any password error, it has to throw an error. Password is wrong, user
yes.
ID is wrong, like that. It has to throw an error.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we validate.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so for this particular use case, this is how we used to test.
Okay.
And then when it comes to technical requirements, if you're using any kind of social media, then our engineer has to use one of their API.
APIs. Yes.
So it can be a Google API, Facebook API, Apple API, whatever it is. We are using the API endpoint details, you are giving it here.
Mm-hmm.
So like this, you are going to explain in the interview.
Okay.
So just don't say that I use this technique, that technique. Don't tell like that. Okay, with an example.
We have to, yes, give a scenario. Yeah.
Scenario. So like member, like business owners came with this functionality. So I'll keep in mind how. So for that you need to know what is the format of a use case first of all. So use
Okay.
cases means we'll have user use case ID, description,
The
preconditions, post conditions, ideal flow,
ideal flow.
alternative flow,
Okay.
then exceptions and alerts, validations, then
Validation.
API. This is the format of a use case.
Use case. Okay.
You got it?
Yes, I got it now.
So same thing for account registration. If there is account registration, so
Mm-hmm.
what is a use case? This is a use case. Use case is you have to create a new account.
You ready?
Description. Yeah.
Mm.
Once they create a new account, there needs to be a one-time OTP password.
Okay. On
And
for
then
email number. Okay.
correct. Once they verify it, then they can create an account. So ideal flow is they have to go to create account page. They have to
Mm-hmm.
click continue. There'll be a OTP request. They have to receive the OTP, verify the
Yeah.
OTP. Okay, then you have to, if there is any additional information they're going to add, they are going to add. They have to create a new password. Then they are
Mm-hmm.
going to like successfully create an account. This is the
Yeah.
ideal flow.
Ideal flow. Yes.
Social media registration means like the user has to log in through their social media login. Okay,
Okay.
using their email ID. Then there will be an OTP. So
OTP. Okay.
again, that will be verified. Then that is alternate. So there
Got
needs to
it.
have. So these are some of the fields.
They
So
need
for
to have.
account, yeah, these are some of the drop. See, for example, you need to have email address, you need to have OTP section,
OTP.
first name, last name, phone number, gender, profession. These are not like examples of a fields that we can have.
Okay.
New password, repeat password. So this is the first screen, create account. Screen 2, confirm OTP. Screen 3, additional information. Screen 4, password. So like it is coming under screen components.
Okay.
And then how do you like what are the exceptions? If one of the validation is missing, we have to throw an error.
Okay.
Okay, so email number is already registered, throw an error. Invalid email ID or phone number, throw an error. Incorrect or expired OTP,
OTP.
throw an error. Mandatory fields not entered, we have to
Okay.
throw an error. Password is a mismatch,
Mismatch. Okay.
throw an error. These are like error. Something went wrong. Please try
Mm-hmm.
again, like this, other exceptions. So this is how we validate. Validate end-to-end validation. What we do first for account creation, they have to have a valid email ID and phone
Phone number.
number. Then once they give that OTP needs to match. Then
Yes.
all the information needs to be completed. Then
Completed.
password needs to be updated. Then they can create an account.
Yes.
Okay, and then these are the endpoints. If you're
API.
using social media, means these are the endpoints.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like this,
This post is referred to Postman, right? The Postman API they use.
correct, correct. This is Postman, correct.
Okay.
Right. These are REST APIs. These are
REST.
methods, post method,
Mm-hmm.
not postman, post method.
Post method. Okay.
There are multiple methods, right? Get method, post method, pull method, like that.
Okay.
So like that. So like this, so you don't say in plain English that you require, you gather requirements, you gather requirements. Okay, so they'll be like
Okay.
very specifically asking what
Yes.
requirements. Give me an example.
Okay.
So if you're already experienced, you can like the same template, but you
Mm-hmm.
can change the use
Different
case.
scenario. Okay.
Same, but the template is same.
Template is always the same. Okay.
Always same.
Yeah.
Precondition, postcondition, ideal flow, alternate flow, field
Alternate flow.
screens,
Yeah.
components, exceptions and alerts, validation. You want
Validation.
this? I can send it to you. This one.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay. And then API. These are the standard. So
Oh,
like this two use cases, you can explain to them in detail. That itself will take 10 minutes.
easy. Yes.
Okay. Easily 10 minutes you're describing about a use case, about gathering. How did you gather requirements? Give me an example. Okay. So
Mm.
gathering requirement means now for this functionality, for this particular use case, what are the questions that you will ask in order to fill this template, right? What kind of questions you'll be asking?
Okay. To the stakeholders.
Correct. You know, this is a format, this is a
For
functionality. Okay. Now, what are the questions you're going to ask the stakeholders?
okay. Do we ask them about like I think we have to start by you knowing the actual flow, right?
Mm,
Like the data flow they want.
correct. So, no, they are telling, okay, this account creation is a one functionality that we have to develop. They're telling that.
Okay.
But they do not tell you specifics. For example, whether this OTP is needed or not.
Okay. So then we have to ask them.
Hmm.
Uh,
So
do we need any pre-authorization
pre-authorization, yeah, we need that functionality?
functionality? Okay.
Because sometimes they may be like, why do you want that? No need. They may
Okay.
also ignore that step, ask you to ignore it also. Then you don't do that step.
Okay. We don't do that. Okay.
Mm. So how do you like here? It can be very simple, like login, account creation, login functionality. But if you see that, right, what if they say that no need social media registration? We don't want this.
Okay.
So they
So
can like change the requirements in this too.
okay. So but there will be alternate flow per se.
Yes, alternate flow, it depends. Otherwise, if they only email ID and password, then there is no alternate flow.
There is no alternate flow.
Mm.
Okay.
But mostly nowadays, right, everybody wants that alternate flow.
Yes. There. So then we have to ask
Mm.
like two options.
Mm.
If this doesn't work, then what should be the next option for the user
Correct.
login?
So if it's, let's say it is repeatedly, sometimes the account can be locked also.
Yeah,
Like,
login.
like they try to like update the password. Like that also we need to ask. So how many times they can retrieve the password? How many
Mm-hmm.
times like they can type the wrong password
Wrong
when if
path.
they're trying to log in? That and all is a business requirement.
Okay.
So if they say only 5 attempts means you have to show an alert there. You have remaining 4 attempts,
Four attempts.
3
Yes.
attempts, 2 attempts, 1 attempt, like that. You have to going to show, and then say that your account is logged due to multiple attempts
Okay. Okay.
trying to log in. This and all is very specific technical requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, some people will be like give them n number of attempts, but if there's a very sensitive application, then they want to restrict.
Like banking will they will definitely restrict.
Definitely restrict. They will say contact customer care, contact
Yeah.
system admin, like that.
Yes.
Throw an error like you this trying to attempt, so please contact the for more details or for additional help, please contact system administrator, like that. You have to show the phone number.
Okay. Then we have to mention it in this document too, right?
The same thing, you'll add it here.
In the
That's
alternate flow.
correct.
Okay.
Not alternate flow, that can be separate functionality itself.
Separate functionality. Oh,
Mm. Alternate flow is just like you're just trying to log in, that's all.
login. Okay.
Mm. But
Then we,
all error handling and then alert, all that can be like separate.
okay.
You can say here, right? Exceptions and alerts. So it will come here as alert,
Yeah.
alert 1, 2, 3, like this.
Okay.
Okay. So like this, I will send you this document. It will be very helpful. Just mimic the
Okay.
same thing for your project that you're going to trying to say,
Mm-hmm.
and like so that it's not very plain simple like login and account creation, right? Something it
Yeah.
can be very specific to your projects. You can tell them
Yes.
same thing. Okay. And then like if you are a fresher, then you can use this login
Okay.
account creation like that. You can use
Okay.
like if you don't know what to tell them, then you can always say that let me take you take the login use case like that you can say. But if you are and if you're adding some 5+ in your resume, I won't recommend you to use this login and account creation and all. There is something
Yeah.
like something from your like for example healthcare projects means in healthcare, if it's claims, like what do we do from member portal? If a claim is submitted, what they will do, what kind of like functionality will a member portal have? So very specifically you're going to talk about like
Okay.
how a claim is being submitted from the provider portal or member portal. So that time it will be different, right? It will not be like this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There will be no social media and all for account creation for healthcare websites.
Yes, there will be no social.
So it will be just like login or password. That's all.
For
Because
banking and healthcare.
banking also there'll be no like
Yes.
I don't think there'll be any social media
Yes.
registration. This is for like a travel, like Emirates. If you see Emirates website, it will be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
So
on social media.
mm, social media, anything like I think other than that, travel industry will have it, but I don't think healthcare and banking will have this.
They won't have it. Yeah, for sure.
Mm, very sensitive, so they don't want the data to be leaked.
Yeah, because we have to enter social security and all our personal information.
Correct, correct. So we won't have that. So accordingly, change the requirements and then answer. So that's there. And then when they ask you about, okay, during this requirement gathering, so now you discuss techniques in detail, you discuss about the format of a use case. So you what are the first of all format, like I told you, it will be having a use case ID, description, preconditions, post conditions, ideal flow, alternate flow, fields, then screen components,
Mm-hmm.
exceptions and alerts. You're going to have validations,
Correct.
business rules, then API endpoints.
Yeah.
So this is a format of a use case. Now you created a use case.
Mm.
Next, they will be asking you, can you give me an example of a data flow diagram?
Okay.
So, like for example, um, this is the requirement. Can you do you have experience in like drawing data flow diagrams, this BPMN diagrams, flow charts, or
No.
any like wireframe diagrams? Do you have examples?
Okay.
They may
No.
ask.
Okay. I haven't made any, but I think I have made some during school project, but like in the university.
Mm-mm.
Wireframe diagram actually.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yes. So yeah. So have something in handy,
Okay.
some of the diagrams that you say you can
Yeah.
show them that.
There's some like logic, right? For diagrams, square means something, rectangle is something,
Mm,
and circle is something.
correct. Let me take that for you. So if you see here, lucid chart, if you go to lucid chart, they
Mm-hmm.
have given that in lucid chart most of the details about any diagram will be there. Okay, what's the flow chart, what is BPM, and everything will be there in lucid chart,
Mm-hmm.
and you can sign up for free too. So basically, they're talking about how to draw, like if you're drawing some data flow diagram, what is the meaning of it for those shapes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so all data flow diagrams will have all these four main elements: entity, process, data store, and data flow. So external entity, for example, this is external entity,
Okay.
and then circle means it's process. Circle means it's process. Then data storage means like A rectangle.
A rectangle, yes.
Data flow is an arrow.
Arrow. Okay, yeah.
Okay. So they have like this, they have it for flowcharts. For flowchart, it's different.
Okay.
Actually, I have a video on all this actually.
Oh,
One
have
video
it
I
on YouTube.
made.
Okay.
YouTube, yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have
But
yeah, you can watch that. I made a complete like flow chart symbols explanation.
okay. Okay. I'll refer to it.
Yeah, so for example, if it's flow charts. So flow charts is easy that like you said, it's in like it's in school level. So start, end, then you have
Yes.
arrows, then you
Arrows.
have input, then you have process, then decision. This
This.
is the easiest chart that you can make.
Yeah.
But when it comes to um so see here, chart, start, end, action, document symbol,
Mm-hmm.
multiple document symbol, connector, preparation symbol, manual input, decision. Then you have merge symbol, sort,
Okay.
loop,
Loop.
database symbol, data storage, internal storage, display symbol. So these is like you can take a look at the smart draw.
Okay.
And then maybe have like I would recommend Syed have like some like complicated documents in hand
Okay.
just to showcase that you did that in the, you never know what they're going to ask.
Okay. Yes.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. I'll make some of these.
Yeah, some of
Yes.
at least have one or two diagrams, one BPN, one flow chart, one
I
swim lane
think
diagram,
BPN is more detailed, right?
very detailed.
Very detailed.
Mm.
Yeah.
And this is simple. Flowcharts is a very simple one. Data flow
Okay.
diagrams I've showed you, right? It's very simple. That is also simple.
Yes.
And wireframes can be very difficult to make. It takes hours. Some of my students are
Ye-
taking like 6 hours to make a
Yes. Yes. It takes a
so
lot of time.
lot of time. So wireframe you can do, but whenever you have time, create something for whatever
Yes. I
projects that
had
you.
to. There was a project where we have to create a project in HTML CSS. So
Mm,
we have to make a design for the website for the homepage. I
mm,
used Balmasic, I think.
yeah, balsamic,
Balsamic,
correct.
balsamic to create that diagram. Took a lot
Correct.
of time.
Right. So like that you can have it in handy, and in the interview if you can impress them. Like you can say these are some of the diagrams because you cannot say I know. See, by
Yes.
verbally if you saying I know how to draw the diagram and all that, instead of that you show them with pictures.
Pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
so these are some of the kind of work that I have did. So I know how to draw
Yeah.
diagrams. Also, you will actually learn also once you start
Yes.
practicing.
Yes.
At
Yes.
least the basics you will be able to at least to manage. You will know instead of
Manage.
like saying I know how to draw. I know how to draw. If you've